dark, oh, what will we find? Colors and sounds that twist and unwind, lost in his secrets that he's left behind. Hidden schematics dance in his eyes, mystery project under starry skies. Electric dreams in a digital maze, John's crafting wonders in a purple haze. Oh John, oh tell us your tale, what's behind the curtain, behind the veil? Secrets and shadows that nobody knows. Where does your mind wander, where does it go? In his lab the neon lights glow, ideas splinter like a wild cosmic show. Pixels and code that swirl and they flow, John's secret world in a state of electro. Lost in his thoughts, a vision so grand. Every gamer wonders, every gamer demands, what's John's next move with the joystick in hand? Seeking the unknown in the psychotropic land. Midnight's whispers call out his name, John in the glow of an electric flame. A project unseen yet we're drawn to the game. The magic he's working will never be tamed. Oh John, oh tell us your tale, what's behind the curtain, behind the veil? Secrets and shadows that nobody knows. Where does your mind wander, where does it go? In his lab the neon lights glow, ideas splinter like a wild cosmic show. Pixels of code, they swirl and they flow, John's secret world in a state of electro. Midnight's whispers call out his name, John in the glow of an electric flame. A project unseen yet we're drawn to the game. The magic he's working will never be tamed.
July 26th is the date. XboxEra won't be late. Starting up at 7. EDT heaven. My stream lights aglow. All the gamers you know. Tune in, don't be shy. Let your wallet fly. Sub-a-thon, go, go, go. Watch and donate, money flow. Pixels dance on screen, let's make it a scene. All day we'll play and cheer. Play games without a fear. Join the fun, unite as one. So the sub-a-thon's done. Grab your snacks and drinks. Share the links with all your links. Let's make this stream a dream. So loudly we'll scream. Sub-a-thon, go, go, go. Watch and donate money flow. Pixels dance on screen, let's make it a scene. All day we'll play and cheer. Play games without a fear. Join the fun, unite as one till the sub-a-thon's done. Grab your snacks and drinks. Share the links with all your links. Let's make this stream a dream. So loudly we will scream. Sub-a-thon, go, go, go. Watch and donate money flow. Pixels dance on screen, let's make it a scene.
Grinding hard, no time to play. Controllers click clack like typewriter in his day. Podcast king, he don't need no rest. 6 days a week through the digital quest. Sleepless nights, blue light in his eyes. Console lit brighter than the skies. Threads and tweets, he's undefeated. In the Xbox era, his work never depleted. Jesse's the man, the legend in the game. Never slowing down, powering through the pain. From the break of dawn till midnight call. In the crime, he outshines them all. Now sees the man, the legend in the game. Never slowing down, powering through the pain. From the break of dawn till midnight call. Working the grind, he outshines them all. Silent but deadly, his impact be vast. Jesse's the future, forgetting the past. Game reviews, insights, he's always first. Keeps the community from a knowledge thirst. Coffee in hand, pixels on his mind. Gears and Halo, futures designed. Modded servers, the sound of success. In the console wars, he's the press. Jesse's the man, the legend in the game. Never slowing down, powering through the pain. From the break of dawn till midnight call. In the grind, he outshines them all. Outshines them all. Outshines them all. Outshines them all. Halo, futures designed, modded servers, the sound of success. In the console wars, he's the press. Jesse's the man, the legend in the game, never slowing down, powering through the pain. From the break to dawn till midnight call, up in the crime, he outshines them all.
Just as grinding day and night, pushing buttons bright, working fingers to the bone till the morning light. Project stacking up high, never getting tight. Gotta find some space, need a little bit of right. Clock keeps ticking on my back like a heavy load. Sweat dripping down my face, burning hot and cold. Every email's like a mountain story left untold. I can't remember last time I walked down the road. Oh, Jesse needs a break, break away from the storm. Heart's wearing thin, tired and worn. Jesse needs a break before the spirit's torn. Find a little mercy in the early morn. Eyes are red as rubies, bloodshot from the screen. Lost in digital haze, chasing another dream. Cast her endless like a river's aim. Gotta pull the plug, step out of the machine. Wind calls, whispering freedom's name. Leaves rustle in the same old game. Clouds drift lazily in a frame. My soul aches, break this chain. Oh, Jesse needs a break, break from this grind. Seeking a somber unwind the mind. Jesse needs a break, sunshine to find. Heal the bruises, let the spirit unwind. Oh, Jesse needs a break, break from this grind. Seeking a songbird, unwind the mind. Jesse needs a break, sunshine to find. Heal the bruises, let the spirit unwind. Oh, Jesse needs a break, break away from the storm. Heart's wearing thin, tired and worn. Jesse needs a break before the spirit's torn. Find the
XboxEra is about to enter its 5th year, and that's all thanks to you. If you're new here, let me fill you in. XboxEra is a platform for the Xbox community with best-in-class forums, a kick-ass Discord server, and of course XboxEra.com, chock full of the latest news, reviews and more, all focused on your favourite platform, Xbox. It's every Xbox fan's gateway to the best of XboxEra. Our incredible podcasts listened to in over 50 countries across the planet, our own digital store for games and codes, our merch store for the coolest of Xbox threads, and of course Day One, where you can track, rate and discuss your favourite games on Xbox Game Pass. XboxEra is built for you, and it's completely funded by you. If you value having a publication truly focused on your preferred place to play, you can support us directly via Patreon. Just head to patreon.com/XboxEra. You get cool swag and awesome perks, and we get to keep doing what we do. Become a part of the best Xbox community on the internet and help us build the next 5 years of XboxEra. Thank you for your support. Despite the fact that the team running XboxEra haven't been to journalism school, we're still lucky enough to be supported by some incredible people. While we adore all of our patrons, we have to give a very special shout out to our executive producers who go above and beyond for this team, allowing us to achieve so much more than we could without them. Top, Not Jack, Mohammed Sherez, Kevin S, Korkenstein, Jordan White, Jordan Landau, Frankie C, Devin H, Brit, Assassin Entertainment, and our grand benefactors, Torn Raptor and Crowd56. You guys are fucking awesome, and we love you. If you want to become legend like this lot, head to patreon.com/XboxEra. Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 221 of the Xbox Era podcast. We're here to talk about all of the latest in gaming from across the industry, but overall we're focused on your favorite platform, Xbox. If you love what we do, you can support us directly by heading to patreon.com/XboxEra or by becoming a YouTube member right here. And as always, keep your eyes peeled on XboxEra.com for all the latest and greatest in Xbox news. Before I even introduce Special Nick, we have to call out the magnificent, the brilliant, the wonderful grand benefactors of our Patreon, Torn Raptor and Crowd56, because you guys are legendary. As always, not always, because I wasn't here last week.
As rarely this year.
Yeah, it's been a very busy year. All will become clear soon, right? Ish. Nick's here.
What's going
There he
on?
Oh, it's nice to be back. Hi, Jesse, as well. How are you doing?
I'm
Review machine.
doing pretty good. Another one came in last night that I completely forgot about that I'm looking forward to. It's been I pinged everyone, but then I deleted it. It was like, oh, you know what? I'll just do that. It was Star Wars Bounty Hunter, the remaster. So I'll be doing that.
I saw the thumbnail.
Comes out August 1st, so sometime
Isn't
around
that already
there.
out on Switch?
No, that was another one that was like a hero shooter. I forget the name of it, but that is like a 40 on Metacritic. Yeah, there's been some stinkers on Metacritic, OpenCritic lately. That SNK mobile game that is also on consoles is like a 43.
Bounty Hunter is that?
Yeah, Bounty Hunter was the 2002 GameCube. I think it was everything but Xbox Star Wars Jango Fett game. So, and it's not an emulated port. It is rebuilt by Aspire. So I'm curious.
Really?
Yeah, they're rebuilding a few things.
Well, they did a good job with Battlefront in some ways, but then it all broke, and I don't think it had like full crossplay and all that stuff, so it just kind of kills those types of things.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's not a
been
not a good look.
It's been very busy. The team has, I think, been crushing it all around. We poke fun at you, John.
I know,
But we know, Nick and I know, you actually have been working your butt off on the thing we can talk about some point soon. Like, sometime soon, looking at the date. Like,
I know,
again,
mate, frighteningly soon.
And I do want to set proper expectations for people. It's not gaming coverage or working with,
And
like,
we're not publishing a
Xbox.
game.
Yeah, it's not anything.
Like a video game. We're not
Yeah,
publishing a video
nothing
game.
like that.
And
It's
people
just-
going, are you guys making a game? Like
God,
a video
that'd be
game?
so
I'm like,
hard. The entire time we've been together
Know
wouldn't
nothing
be
about
long enough.
coding.
Who would do that?
I can do some level design. That's it.
Yeah, I
Unless we
did.
got anorexic to just make it for free. And that was it.
Yeah, it's a collaboration almost entirely from John and Predrag having a fun idea and getting together to make it type of thing. It's not like the 360 book would be soon-ish, like we're creeping up on it. It's what, next year? So we kind of get
the 360 book. The 360 book is a thing that is going to become barreling down the gun like sooner
And
rather than like it's going to suddenly be like, oh, it's time you need to work on this. So,
the thoughts we've had, because we have mentioned before that John lost 15 grand on this book right here
wasn't fun.
on the shipping. So more basic, not a bunch of SKUs, not a bunch of different things to pack. It's just like maybe one or two versions, a regular version and a fancy version that are just those, was my thought.
Yeah.
And shipping's really expensive and there's nothing we can do about it. So
Yeah,
we're just,
there are
unless
gonna
we
be
can
different
find
things to
someone,
do.
we wouldn't do it the same
There's
way.
other methods. Yeah, there is definitely other methods. I think the quality of the Xbox Era book is such that I'd love to see the original publisher, the creator, the bookmaker do the same thing again. But I have to acknowledge the world we live in, right? Shipping all of those from one place here in the UK all over the world, when the majority of you are, frankly, in the US.
Yep.
It might not make a lot of sense. But the good news is, and I won't speak in detail, but I've discussed the project with friends at Microsoft, and the door is open for us to work.
360
because
book, not current I don't want people to think secret project. 360
secret project
book.
is something completely out of the fucking blue. 360 book, and you've got to bear this in mind. We can't do what we did with the original book. For
no, there's too many.
We can't have 4,000 games in a book.
We won't have
like 5 volumes.
OBM for free to do all that writing again either.
Yeah, it's not the one. So it's going to be more. Well, you say that OBM and I have discussed it. He would love to help out with the 360.
Yeah, help out, but not let's
not
go
lead
over.
The charge.
Yeah, like so and that much stuff. We could never cover everything on the 360.
So it will
be
probably more.
Cliffy B about that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it will be more interviews. It will be more behind the scenes. It will be more discussions with key members of the team. It would be more
like big moments of the generation type stuff. Like
and talking to the community about like, hey, out of those 4,000 plus brilliant games, you know, there are some obvious absolute classics and gems that change the industry. What do you want to see covered in detail? Because then we would seek out specifics and interviews with those developers and teams to understand more. So, you know, that's the kind of mindset of it. But it's a huge undertaking, and doing these sorts of things takes you away from the day-to-day. It absolutely does.
And while I think myself and Cengiz and Ursel have been doing well, people really like your reviews. So you got 2 reviews out this week. If we wanted to transition into the unbelievably large number of things myself and John, but not Nick, have been playing.
Well, that's a lovely segue you've lined up for me. But before we do that, I obviously have to acknowledge, hello chat, lovely to see you.
We do have a super chat too from an executive producer.
Yes, we do.
From Mohammed Sherez, one of our favourites.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Clark, Norris, and Baker. Sounds like a bad air novel. Bad noir novel. With Jesse carrying the team and the other 2 missing. Have a good stream. I don't go missing. Like it takes a lot.
We are lucky to get Nick as much as we do.
Most days. It takes a lot for me to miss these days. Like I even did one of the podcasts from Queensland. I just couldn't do both. I did one of them though.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I bought this new Thunderbolt 3 dock for my computers,
I got my dock.
Should make life even easier.
From when I had to run the podcast off of Legion Go, which was shockingly easy. So bring this with me to Gamescom.
Yeah, but when you have a Windows computer, you can basically buy anything and it'll work. With fucking Apple products, like, man, they're fussy pricks.
On purpose.
Like, seriously, they're so fussy about, no, if you want a good dock that works, and even this one doesn't work right, because I tried using the USB-C charging port last night and it just completely shit itself.
So, just quickly on the topic of PCs, Jesse, you know when we tried to do that stream and I couldn't run Gears and I couldn't run... I think I found the problem.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even you. It was Senor Bean having the exact same issue as you, right?
Yes, yeah. I was posting in the chat, and he is correct. So, fun fact for people that watch that stream, nothing was working, and then it got even worse. Like I was trying to render out some stuff for the review, and foolishly, I was playing on PC for both Flock and Dungeons of Hinterberg.
You fool!
And I recorded in MKV, and the files were like half hour long, 45 minutes long, and DaVinci,
MKV,
which is normally MKV pirates, yar
streaming services.
Yes, it just kept crashing. DaVinci was just crash, and Senor Bean in the chat, he was like, "Oh, is your CPU overclocked?" And I went into my BIOS, and indeed, this is an overclocked rig. So I brought it all back down to standard shipping clocks. And I haven't had a crash with a game yet. And even the wonderful Nobody Wants to Die, loading that up, I had the same out of memory issue. As soon as I changed it, it all just was like, yep, everything's fine.
There's a major issue that people haven't really gotten into lately, but newer Intel is dog water for reliability. And it was always like, if you're an IT guy, you're like, use Intel, don't get fired. And right now, it's, well, shit. If I use Intel, their stuff is super temperamental, and they've been pushing the same process really hard. So if you end up trying to do much else, it has not been as reliable as they have always been known for.
I believe that the problem is that the chips are more cores, more, and a lot of like a lot of games
It
and
was pushing.
programs
It's
aren't
pushing
built
everything
to-
higher and higher. Like go higher
not
and
built to
higher and
use it.
higher on your gigahertz, which can work great for the things ready for it. But
Gigahertz.
yeah, it's just AMD's actual CPU tech feels as far ahead of Intel as Nvidia is ahead of them on GPU side.
Yeah.
So
But yes, speaking of all of the games that we reviewed and what we've been playing, Nick, what have you been playing this week?
So, I have been playing Kunitsu-Gami, Path of the Goddess. Man,
I gave him a couple.
telling
Loving
you.
it?
So, I wanted to try. I tried the demo first because I also wanted to try the demo because you're supposed to get free Akami stuff when the full game comes out, which I'd have to check. And I played the demo, and I don't know, man. I don't know what it is about this game. Like, I should hate this game with all of my being. It's all the things I don't like in video games.
It is
It's
an escort
missions.
mission the entire game.
It's escort mission, the game. It's management. It's fucking like almost a bit of RTS and tower defense. And I'm like, I should not like this game at all. It literally checks all the boxes of everything I hate. But for some reason, I don't hate it. I just don't
None
hate
of
this
it
game.
is deep enough. Like, as I was getting through it, it is a beautiful ramp up of complexity. Because it's really basic to start. And I was actually like, man, this combat is just too basic. But as you go and you start being able to unlock abilities for So, who is your main character, as you get more and more of the 11 classes over time, like as all of it goes, it never feels overwhelming. And so many of those types of strategy games hit you with everything quick. Riftbreaker did a very good job of being a twin stick shooter strategy. Like, it was a tower defense game, essentially. It was very similar. But even that one, if I tried to hop back into it, my brain just went bop. This one is so confined in its scope. Like, levels are never huge. There's never...
It's also gorgeous.
Yeah, it is beautiful. It runs great. I only played in performance mode. I'm not going to do quality mode in it, even though it's not a shooter.
Yeah, I played in performance mode.
Yeah, and you get just enough time to set up where you don't get bored of setting up. You get just enough time in combat where you don't get bored of combat. Like, they did a really good job of taking a bunch of basic systems, but having them all be so refined that after like 15 hours and beating it, I was just like, that is perfect. And it has a new game plus, and I'm tempted to go back.
Oh, really?
Because then I'm curious exactly how all the new game plus ends up feeling, having all that shit that you unlock earlier, because that would completely change those levels.
Like, I'm finding myself repeating the levels so I can tick off all the objectives, because then you get more currency to then do upgrades.
Yeah, which is extremely important because it gets very hard at the end if you do not.
And I'm playing it, and I'm like, I shouldn't like this game. Everything about this game, I shouldn't like it. Like, at all. I should hate it with a passion. And I'm like, for some reason, I don't. I'm not saying I love it, but for some bizarre reason, I don't
Its hooks
hate
in
it.
you.
Yeah, I'm
John,
That's a good
liking it.
thing.
John,
Love
stop interrupting everyone. I don't know. I get this guy. There are people who always say I interrupt everyone. It's like, I barely ever talk. I really don't. I barely ever talk.
I don't know.
We're all
Maybe
friends here.
It's
We're all friends
because
here.
maybe there's a certain voice that everyone wants to hear.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Of course, your ego has to come play
You know,
into it.
no one wants to hear from the person who's beaten the whole thing and reviewed it. They just
They want to hear from the
handsome
person
enough, I know.
that normally hates these games but seems to like this one, because that speaks volumes. When you have someone that hates escort missions and all that sort of stuff who suddenly likes a game that's purely escort mission, that makes people perk up their ears and go, ooh,
There,
this
we'll
might
start
be
up
a
a
good
poll.
one.
Mohammed Sherez asks, is it the setting that's pulling you in the chat?
No. It's not the setting. The setting's fine. I've got no issue with the setting. It's whatever. And I've been skipping every cutscene. I don't watch any of them. I actually posted a thing showing a picture that you can skip the cutscene, because, you know, that Twitter account Can you skip the cutscenes? But I'm not very far in because I put actually genuinely a decent amount of time into the demo, trying to beat the demo. So now I had to start all over again in the full game. I've already rebuilt the first village like straight away, which you can't do in the demo. So that was something I discovered in the full game. I'm like, oh, you can rebuild this village. I'm like, that's quite cool. This for some reason, this game is just making me want to do everything in it. So I'm progressing quite slowly because I don't want to move too far ahead without beating everything
ticking off
I've
the
done
list
to the start. It's weird. Yes, Jesse, go.
I didn't have anything to say. I just wanted to interrupt.
But yeah,
I love it.
It's like, again, for anyone listening or watching, I understand if you hate. Trust me, I hate escort missions. I don't like RTSs. I don't like management and having to worry about what's happening. Like I said, everything about this game, I should hate it. Everything. Like, I don't like that I have to manage my dudes in real time and I've got to place them in certain spots. And I normally hate that stuff, but I don't know. I don't hate it here. I can't explain why. I don't hate it.
I think that's a good thing. It's nice to see you branching out. It's good.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
So that's what I've been playing new.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll start with Flock. I've been playing Flock. I did a Flock review. And honestly, again, it's one of those similar to you. I don't really care for Pokemon or anything of that nature. I bounced right off Power World, although arguably that's more survival than creature taming, really. But this is a adorable creature tamer, fill in the book, find the creatures game on the back of a giant bird, and everybody looks like a Muppet, like from the Muppets. And I loved it. And you go watch the review. I don't think I need to spoil much else. It's cute. It's adorable. It's well designed. It's fun. It's cooperative play. My kids love it. They've been playing it all day today together. And the one weird thing about it is you're 4 hours in. I was 4 hours in, right? And the credits just rolled, and I wasn't done. I had like 10 animals to find. I was like, what? And that was the only negative, really. Outside of like that, I think that was it. Like,
that's not a negative.
Well, it was so jarring, man. The whole vibe of the game was like chill and fun, and then suddenly it was like it's over. And I was like, why have you done this now? Do you not have confidence? Are you thinking people are going to be bored and that's it? Like, it was really odd to me. But it's on Game Pass. It's 4 hours long if you want it to be, but I definitely think you could stretch it out to 6 if you want to catch everything. But more than anything, I think it's a great game for young'uns because one of the cool mechanics of gameplay is there are different species and then there are different animals within the different species. So there are grebes and thrips and pipers, I don't know. And then there might be 6 or 7 animals within these groups. But the game will say, hey, okay, what animal is this? And it will give you some descriptions and you have to be like, oh, glebes have no legs, so it's a glebe. And then it will say, okay, great, now what glebe is it? And it's seeing my kids read and learn and, oh, there's a glebe, it's really cute. So I think that's that's something I really love about it. But yeah, go play it, man. It's on Game Pass, 4 hours long, really.
Okay.
Fun times. What about you, Jesse? What one do you want to talk about? Because we did Path of the Goddess, I guess.
Well,
you got Darkest
you
Dungeons.
had another one. You might
I know. I
as well
thought I'd bounce so that we weren't all talking all at the same time.
Well, so yeah, I did the review on Kunitsu-Gami, gave my brief opinion on that one. It's great. You can go read it and watch the review if you care at all to hear from someone who's played and beat the whole thing. Other than that, one of the other ones I did that I think I have footage from that you can talk about after me, but please, for the love of shit, do not interrupt me, was Nobody Wants to Die, which has been a really interesting one. By far our most successful review of the year because no one got it early and then no one did a review for it. I got it 90 minutes after embargo ended, and the email said, please don't put out any coverage until, and it was 90 minutes ago. It's like no one had it. No one got it early. Most people have not reviewed it, and it's one of my favorite games of the year. It is a detective noir narrative title. This one, Nick, would not be up your alley. There is no combat.
I saw the trailer, though.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer and was like, this looks cool. And then noticed Jesse was playing it. And I'm like, hey, this Nobody Wants to Die game looks good because they made it look like a Bioshock in the trailer. So I'm like, ooh, okay, I'll give this one a go. And Jesse's like, nah, man, there's like no combat. There's nothing. It's a story. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, it is only story. It is only dialogue. It is only cutscenes. And the gameplay itself is detective focused, where you are in 2329 New York in a weird 1940s noir aesthetic future.
I love it.
It is stunning. It's Unreal Engine 5. I only played it on Series X. Some guy in the comment section on the review was very upset that I didn't say it plays poorly on PC. And I'm like, I haven't touched it on PC. My review only says Xbox. But he's like mid-range PC, so not you. Mid-range or lower is what he wanted to know about.
I've been playing it on PC, and it is jaw-droppingly. I was like there's the opening scene. You're in the spoiler alert. You're in this kind of like you're watching an old school movie, so you feel like you're in the 1920s, and it looks like an old school car. It's like all the hoods are 1940s style, and then you go to open the door, and the door fucking opens, and you're floating in we're serving the old timers that used to like watch movies like this, like open cinema, and there's cars flying and there's skyscrapers, and it is jaw dropping. The rain is coming down. I was just like, holy shit, these devs cooked.
Environmental artwork is incredible for a team of that size, for these environments to look that good, for them to get that sense of scale and scope on all the cars in the background, all the little humans that are walking by and stuff. Like, every environment detail looks top-notch, like incredibly good. And then you realize, there's not actually that many environments. And if you were to zoom in, that's actually just like a little tiny toy car flying way away. But you're not paying attention to that because the story's really engrossing, and the things you're doing, the choices you make are impactful. You will always go... It doesn't branch a lot. Obviously, they're not a huge team. It's not some big branching storyline. You're going to end up in a different place for a different ending. Just to let you know, every ending does go the same path, but the choices you have at the end are massively impacted by the choices you made throughout the story. So there ends up being a lot of different variants of similar endings. So like really bad all the way up to really good. And there's a smorgasbord in between them of things that can change. Like their ability to hone in on what was going to make this vision good with the obvious limited budget and team size and all stuff that they had. It's like another indicator because it's a Polish team, but the English, it's all English writing, all English dialogue, and a lot like Indica, which was similar. It's fantastic. Like excellent writing, great voice work. The main voice actor liked our review tweet and said thanks.
It was really cool.
It's like it's really good. Like he freaking killed it, because most of the game is him talking to a colleague at the police department over an earpiece. That's like most of the game. Like while you're going
like
through
Bioshock.
it. Kind of, but she's always there, and you're not moving around all the time unless you're in a crime scene.
Or like Halo.
A little.
Halo CE.
Yeah. It's the thing where you've got a voice in your head. Yeah. But this one is you talking to another person at the precinct, going through stuff with them. Good detective stuff, not like super puzzly. They're not brain teasers to figure out. It's just more, where am I supposed to go? How do I tie this in? And you're experiencing it all. It's also only $22. So a roughly 5-hour game seems like a really fair price for it.
Ooh, 5 hours.
Yeah.
I hate seeing. I saw a comment on our YouTube review that said 5 hours. That's a no from me, dog. And I'm like,
man, that's a big yes from me.
It's like, oh man, I love short games.
Oh, I
And
love short
$20,
games. Short games are so
like,
good.
You would like. I ordered pizza tonight because we couldn't be bothered to cook, and we'd spent all day in the sunshine, and it was 30 quid. 30 quid. Right, to quote our good friend Abubakar Slim, how much should this game be? It should be the price of pizza, and it was less than this pizza. So you should probably go pick it up, because I've only started it. I've only done the first bit, the first investigation, I should say, and I was like, okay, I need to wait until my kids aren't here and just plug in and just storm through it in one sitting because it was very engrossing. Very cool, Jesse. Nice pickup, mate.
Mm-hmm. It was
Good
when
shout,
I saw the
sir.
trailer of it a long time ago, and I really wanted to do it, and I was sad when I didn't get an early code. Though I make sure to not mention that because people get very mad if you're like entitled. And it's like, well, no, just when you're told yes that you will be on the list, and then it doesn't show up, you go, oh, you feel bad because you're like, I really wanted to play this one, and now I'm glad that I did because it's very good.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got more than me, so you've got Darkest Dungeon or Flintlock. Do you want to talk about either of those? Then we'll do one more.
I've talked about Darkest Dungeon a bunch. Still good, still cheap. You get a ridiculous amount of playtime from it. Flintlock, there we go. Some footage. Flintlock Siege of Dawn, good, not great. Has a lot of really good ideas for being a Souls light. Where it takes some ideas from the Souls games, but isn't just full-on crazy with it. Its biggest weaknesses are the platforming and melee just feel a little off at times, especially the double jump into mantling, which you have to do a ton. You'll just kind of like slide against the wall and all that, but yeah, it's good, not super long. If you wanted to mainline it, which you shouldn't do because then you miss all the good content and don't get any of the weapons or anything, like 6 hours on easy, probably shorter. But if you do everything and you unlock everything and actually make it fun, it's like a good 12 to 15, not overly long. Good game, and it's on Game Pass. So if you're at all interested in an action game that uses some soul mechanics in it, then yeah.
This one's for you. Speaking of
Has easy mode.
Game Pass, that's always good to know. I will probably check out that one. So I also reviewed Dungeons of Hinterberg, and I want to take a moment to give a big thank you to Regina Reisinger and Philip Seyfried because they were really good sports. They let us do a 1v1 interview, which you can find embedded in the review or on a separate article on XboxEra. And they gave, the dev team gave reviewers, how long did I have? 2.5 weeks?
Quite
to
a
play
while.
through that? Nope. Which was great because I had it, then Flock came in, so I bounced between the two. I love the ambition and the heart of Dungeons of Hinterberg. It is not a perfect game. It is not a masterpiece, but it is a 10-person dev team crafting some of the most fun and imaginative kind of mashing together of genres that I've seen in a while. So you've got social relationship management sim type stuff. You've got hack and slash combat, which is more than serviceable. It's pretty good. It can get a little bit like once you find what works for you, you probably won't change it, but that's okay. You've got armor leveling and enchantments and all this sort of stuff. And the premise is magic is real. And in this tiny little Austrian town in the Alps called Hinterberg, 25 dungeons have appeared. And what surprised me more than anything else, there's competent gameplay. It's fun. It's beautiful to look at. It's got this kind of pop art comic book style. Is the plot. Like, I can't. It's been a while since I've been like, I am totally engaged in this plot. And this is a 10-person team, but it takes the concept of just ask yourself, what would happen in the real world if magic suddenly existed? And suddenly this town, this sleepy little Austrian town, is a tourism hotspot. What would happen? And that's the plot. And it's so good. So absolutely on Game Pass. I got 20 hours of time out of it, a little bit over 20 hours. But the beautiful thing about it is I didn't do everything. You can go and max out every relationship. And the game is broken down into days. So you start your morning, you plan where you're going to go, then you go where you're going to go. You go do your dungeon, but you don't have to do a dungeon at all. You can just go chill out on the picnic bench and watch the day go by, and you'll get like a health buff and a magic buff. And then you can go do a dungeon the next day. And in the evening, you go around town, you do a bit of shopping, you buy your new gear, and you level up relationships. And it is that routine and the forwarding of the plot is just chef's kiss. It is so good. Go check it out. Dungeons of Hinterberg, really awesome game on Game Pass. So, it's free as part of your subscription. That's expensive because the FTC said so. Yeah, and then I think you've only got another one, Jesse,
Did
as
I?
well, right? Have you got any?
What the hell did I have? Well, we done Kunitsu-Gami,
no.
we done Flintlock, we done. I've already
You didn't
talked
do
about Darkest
Magical
Dungeon before.
Delicacy.
No, that
Yeah,
was.
you didn't do Magical Delicacy.
We're the lowest on
Cengiz.
that one. Cengiz did that one. He gave it a 7. He said it's okay, not great. But then a whole bunch of other people are like, no, this is great. So that one reviewed pretty well. It has been. It's always interesting. Like, I get it if it's your blanket policy to not mention sub-services for games. They don't do it for PS Plus or Game Pass on IGN or GameSpot. Like, if it's your blanket thing, fine. But I do think it's weird because your review really only matters at launch. Like, you are reviewing the launch version of the game. Give most of these games a month or two, or sometimes a couple weeks, and they are different games. Like, they have started getting patched, and a lot of them just get patched nonstop, and they're a very different product a year out. So your review isn't going to stand up to time no matter what, in the same way that it used to when a game released, and that was the game. And the patch was to buy the next version of Street Fighter 2 on a new cartridge. Like, that was a patch, essentially. So I do find it weird. I don't think it's some anti-Xbox or anti-Game Pass thing. I think it's they're trying to say, like, well, we're reviewing the game and not the ways you can buy it. But I do think that really matters for people that don't get review codes. And in our position where I've only bought like 2 games in the last 3 years, but I've played like 200 and done reviews because I spend my time doing reviews for them. And then thanks to that, we're able to get extra codes and they go to other people on the team and all that type of stuff. Like, Nick doesn't get any money. I just try and get him codes for games he's interested in because that's all we can really do right now. Unless you go to patreon.com/XboxEra. A lot.
They should probably do that. They should also hit the like button. If you're watching right now, just
YouTube
hit that like button.
YouTube really slowed down for a while. Thankfully, the review for Nobody Wants to Die took off like crazy. So that has helped, and we've quickly gained like 100 subs. So we just need that to keep going up, so that we can
I love
do
reading
more and more
comments like, "I've just found your channel. Oh my god, it's really good." And it's like, yes, it is. Yes, it is really good. You should stick around. I'm reading in the chat. Is this true? You will not get any achievements in Flintlock if you play on easy.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
Yeah, I forgot to mention it because I don't care about achievements.
Move.
I mean, it's just
I don't care, but what a dick move.
And I feel bad. I should have mentioned in the review, but it's like I never pay attention to achievements, and it's one of those things I've tried to in the past because people do. But yeah, they turn off achievements if you play on easy. Give it a couple months, they'll probably
literally the opposite of what you should be doing.
Yeah.
Well, you can get through the game, but if you want the achievement, I think the accessibility mode was putting easy in. Like, because again, it's a genre that has its bread and butter has been difficulty for whatever reason, because it is a story point of the actual Souls games and Elden Ring. Like, those are miserable worlds and everything's horrible, and so they're really hard. Like, that's been their philosophy behind it. But other people aren't making that. Like, Flintlock isn't this horrible world. You don't have to ape every part of it. That's why they gave an easy mode. I'm sure people will complain enough. They'll probably undo that at some point. I wouldn't be shocked.
It's a pretty dumb thing to do, in my humble opinion. I mean, like, you can lock the other difficulties, but if they clear the level on easy, give them a level complete or whatever story checkpoint they've hit. Like, I don't get it, man.
It has been a very rewarding month, I think, and it doesn't get talked about enough in gaming. Everyone's always like comparing very specific publisher lists against each other. But I think for people who like the platform and know it, like, it's been
You mean Xbox?
Yeah, no, this platform, Xbox, and use it all the time. It's just been a crazy good month. So
yep,
it's been a lot of fun.
I've had loads to play. It's been great. Briefly, I also have started playing, I don't know whether to call this Shim or Skim or Shime. I don't know. The little frog-like shadow creature that hops from shadows to shadows. I'm not doing the review.
It is a 2.5 hour long game, by the way, so you're probably most of the way through it.
Oh, okay. But so far, like, I'm in like 45 minutes in, and like, you hop from shadow to shadow, and I'm like, I am not challenged yet. So I'm not like loving it, but it's out. It's not on Game Pass, but gorgeous art style. I'll say that for it. I think it's very pretty.
There's a hair in my thing. There's a hair in my mouse. I can barely use it.
I hate that when you get the fluff in the little sensor, and it's like, nope. It's not working.
Dirty.
But there you go.
He's got a dirty house.
But that's all. That's everything we've been playing. We've been playing a lot. Big thank you to everybody that's liked, commented, watched, participated in the discussion on stuff. Because, as we noted earlier on in the week, it was really odd. Like a big publisher like Capcom, Path of the Goddess comes out, and there's bugger all reviews from some of the biggest gaming websites in the world. It's
They've
like,
come
what
out
the
now.
Fuck?
But not like they come out now. Like I think GameSpot's hit yesterday, and they gave it an 8. And IGN's hit. IGN hit the day, either the end of the day that the embargo was the beginning of the day, or they hit the end of the next day. So I don't know. I do know like GameSpot hasn't been bought lately, but IGN just bought a bunch of sites that also do reviews. So I am curious. Like they have so many freaking employees. There's probably a lot of figuring out who's going to do what and
Yeah,
where.
that's a good point.
So it's
thought
like
about that.
they have a lot of companies now that review stuff, and like how will that work? Because I don't think their review team's huge for games. They use a lot of freelancing, so because there's not a lot of money to make reviews unless you have the fine folks at home who will do your Patreon for you. Because you're the only reason I get to do so many. Thank you.
Yeah, we love you guys. In terms of news, dare I say it, chaps, it's also been fairly,
It picked up a
Fairly-
lot at the end.
I think it's been a week, and some news just happened literally 2 hours ago. As I'm discovering.
Oh, what the SVC?
Thank you
No one
to-
cares about SVC Chaos.
Nah, man, that's bullshit.
That game was
That's not
horrible.
talk about.
That game
do
sucked.
you want to get in on it? Go on.
Okay.
Sound off.
You know, before we do, as you guys have noticed, because I've barely been talking, I've been having time to drink heaps of my control because I have barely talked. So I've just been like, what do I do to fill in this time? I may as well drink some control. So if you go to www.drinkcontrol.com/XboxEra and use our code for 10% off, get yourself some control. It's actually quite nice to have when you're just sitting there doing nothing because everyone's talking over you. It's really, really good.
Interrupting, talking over you.
Apple Smacks flavor. Oh boy, it's nice. But
Good.
unlike John, who apparently doesn't like sweet stuff,
I love sweet stuff.
he'd prefer the chemically gross taste of other powders
Nope,
rather than the nice
Zero.
sweet taste of this one.
0 powders.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
So
save the powder I've got here. You guys can lap it all up while you.
We will, because there'll be nothing else to eat in England.
Yeah. That's all you're going to survive on, frankly. British
Control.
food.
Hope you've got lactose-free milk.
What?
Do you not have lactose-free milk in the UK?
Lactose-free milk.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not lactose intolerant, so no. But yes, we can
we
can
shit.
purchase lactose intolerant. Like
Every human
lactose-free milk.
is technically
Oh,
lactose
good.
intolerant.
Yeah, I know.
I know
There's
some-
technically.
varying
Well,
degrees of it. But
Yeah.
Do you need lactose-free milk? Do I need to get some oat milk in here or some shit?
Oat milk? No. Lactose-free milk. There's actual specific milk which is just lactose-free. It's still full cream milk. It's still normal milk. It's just lactose-free. And the irony is, it's sweeter and it tastes better. It froths better when you're making a coffee. It's the greatest
Things
milk.
you learn. The things you learn.
It's such good
full
milk.
cream though. I'm a semi-skimmed guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Skim milk is shit for you.
No, not skim. Semi-skim. It's a little bit of cream, but not like full fat. Half and half, I believe.
No.
The Americans.
I still
call
go
it.
full cream milk, but it's lactose-free.
Okay. I'll
so
look
much
into
nicer.
that for you.
It's so much nicer.
Do my best.
And less sugar, despite the fact that somehow it tastes sweeter. I looked into it. Apparently, removing the lactose activates these other enzymes that are in there that just makes it sweeter, despite it having less sugar. It's incredible. It's so
Well,
good.
you know. Do you want to talk about this SVC thing before we get into the news?
So
of the
yes,
week,
2
or-
hours ago, literally 2 hours ago during Evo, out of nowhere they announced SNK versus Capcom Chaos, which was on the original Xbox. Once again, not coming to Xbox. This re-release remake of SNK versus Capcom Chaos. Now, this ain't MT Framework, So why isn't this one coming to Xbox? It's got nothing to do with MT Framework, mate. I bet you these games just don't fucking sell at all. Like, everyone wanted to point
But
and
it's
laugh.
not about. That's the thing. That is MT Framework. The games don't sell, so it's not worth upgrading it. If they sold, they would pay for it. We're making the same point.
What?
If the game sold,
People were like, that engine. Like, I heard all sorts of other excuses
but-
about the MT Framework
Well, I
stuff.
don't think it was excuses. I think it was, why is it not coming? It would if it worked, but it doesn't work, and it's not worth the money to fix it.
Because it won't sell that much. Even
Yeah,
if
it was always the same point, which I kept trying to get through
That's
to you. It's
right.
like, yeah, they don't sell enough,
It won't
which
sell.
is why they won't update the engine. But also,
Like,
this game sucks.
Yeah, okay, but this game is not MT Framework.
No, it just
But it still won't
So-
sell.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
That's why
Like,
they
everyone
won't bother.
wanted to.
SNK is a
Everyone wanted to-
weird shambling corpse. Like, they're Saudi owned now. Like, they're not the SNK people knew. So on this one, I have no idea. Like, they just put out that awful Metal
It's the
Slug
old game.
I know. It's a port of
It's
a
not a new
2004
game. It's the old game.
Yeah, I know. But they just put out that Metal Slug port that is a 43 on OpenCritic. That is, I think, the first game I've ever seen on OpenCritic that has 0% recommendation. Like, it's not everything, because this one is on Xbox, this mobile / every console game, but it's terrible because modern SNK is weird. So my answer would be, I don't know. I don't know why this
again, it'll
specific
be
one
'cause
didn't, but others have.
These just don't sell. Like, everyone wanted to laugh at Apple because those Capcom games barely sold on iOS, like Resident Evil and all that. I bet you there's similar numbers, or probably even better numbers than what Xbox does with all these games. And that's why they just never come.
I think
It's just...
it's an odd one to me because Xbox is the third place. We know this. This is fact, right? And yet, like, people are surprised. Like, if you can't make another company do something,
Oh my god,
you know, like,
Well, what's he on my godding about?
they're the best guy. I'm just getting rid of them.
oh, okay.
It's just
Why?
annoying. Because I don't know. It's annoying. I won't get rid of them. It's just annoying because people do take the whole it should be round robin. You talk, wait. Next person talks, wait. Next person talks, wait.
Yeah,
Approach,
we
like,
don't
they
have that
really
style of
want that, and it's
podcast.
like, we don't do that. Like, that's not a normal conversation. A normal conversation is you talk and you
You vibe off of
interject.
each other,
Yeah,
baby.
you interject when you think it's worth the discussion. Like, people aren't telling the friggin' Iron Lords, hey, you better not interject each other. It's like one of the best things about the show. And they're on the same thing as us. It's the same. They have less delay because they're on the US, but still, I think for our insane delay, with all of us being on like this triangle across the globe, we do a pretty good job of not cross-talking.
Yeah. Most of the time.
Yeah. I'm just reading a comment now. Rico Scott, I'm honestly not bothered by SNK versus Capcom Chaos. But
In principle,
should be bothered
yeah.
in principle because they all matter. In their own way, they all matter. Like, they should... Like... And I say this with clearly no knowledge of development costs of this sort of stuff, of these old pixel art
I
fighters.
think we're in agreement. It
Like-
is the same reason we agree. It's just like, why that specific
Yeah, but my
case.
thing is, how much money could these games actually cost to make? Seriously. Like, how much could it realistically cost where even 1,000 copies doesn't cover the cost?
Question: who are people mad at here? What are we mad
I
at?
don't know. I don't know who
What
I'm
are we
mad at.
about? I don't understand. Like,
I don't know who I'm mad at. But we're
You're mad
mad.
at
We're mad
Microsoft?
at. No, well, I don't know. Like, we're mad at the idea that these fucking games that wouldn't cost that much to make aren't coming to Xbox. Like, the fighting game scene during the 360 era, that was where the fighting game scene was, and now we've gone the other way and worse. Like, it. I don't know, man.
I
It's
guess
just,
if it is a few thousand units on Xbox and you only get $20 to $30 and you have to give 30% of that up to the platform, it probably doesn't make that much, if anything, because I don't know if we can find someone who has worked on them and can ask, like, how much more work is it to take this thing that's going to PC and also put it on Xbox? Because you got to do certifications and all that type of stuff. It's not just the work, it's the work plus all the platform specific things you need to do to get it approved. Because as we know, PlayStation and Xbox both have their exhaustive approval processes, and Steam doesn't. That's why everything ends up on Steam, because Steam's kind of like, yeah, whatever, I don't give a shit.
Just publish it.
Like, maybe Microsoft needs to just start fucking paying for this shit.
But they can't do that, man. They can't. Imagine that. Yeah, we'll just pay for it, and then devs will be like, "Well, I'm not going to put it into you." And then it's just
I know,
I know,
but like it's a bit of their own making.
I'm going to give you a hot take. Do you know whose fault this is?
Whose?
Sony. And
Why?
I'll give you a hot take. Why? Because when they money hatted,
Street Fighter
helped develop Street Fighter, that cut the legs out of any opportunity for Xbox to be a fighting game platform, and now PlayStation is the default forever.
Even though they have the worst input latency, which sucks.
I know, right? But that's what that whole move led to where we are today. In my humble opinion,
No, I know. I've said that before
specifically
too.
in fighting games, but
I said it was a
That's what you
smart
should be mad
money hat. I said at the time it was a smart money hat.
yep.
I'm with Muhammad in chat. I'm more upset when newer ones don't. Old ports, yeah, I'd like if they were all there. I would like people to have them if they want them. But if they can keep getting more of the new ones, and they did pay for two Arc System Works games in Guilty Gear and BlazBlue to get them on the platform finally in
And
Game
we're getting
Pass,
the
Play
new
Anywhere.
Fatal Fury.
Yeah, like they're getting the new stuff. So if that's where their focus is going to be, especially with that whole SEA fund, where as long as you get release date parity, they will give you a bunch of money. Like that is the program they have. I don't think the focus for that is on older ports, like especially very old ports. It has really felt like the focus on that, especially when it requires a Game Pass deal, is new stuff. So if like a bunch of new big fighting games get announced and they are skipping, then that would feel a lot worse to me overall.
Yeah, but you know what bothers me more about shit like this though? Like, Microsoft has the backwards compatibility program. Most of these games came out on 360. You can't fucking tell me that you couldn't just go and be like, oh, fuck, none of these games are coming. Let's throw these people a bone. Let's make the 360 ones backwards compatible. Let's make the OG Xbox ones
Which you'd have
backwards
to get
compatible.
permission from the publisher, and the publisher could go.
So get it. Why
and the
would
publisher
Capcom
could go,
say no? Why? Explain to me logically why Capcom would say no. It's not
Maybe
like they're going to
there's
lose
license-
sales on fucking Xbox because
Who
it's not
knows,
coming
man?
out on Xbox.
Maybe there's licensed music in there. Maybe even with all that, the effort to do it is still not worth.
But they don't have to do the effort. It's Xbox doing it with backwards compatibility.
Maybe
That's
for
the whole
Xbox,
point.
It's not worth it. That's all I'm saying. We don't know. And this is
Well,
the
then
problem with these kinds of
fucking-
discussions is we don't have enough information to draw any logical conclusion outside of, for fans of fighting games, it kind of sucks. And it doesn't help the platform at all. It look attractive to people that want to play fighting games. So it's a Microsoft problem, but they can't really solve it unless other developers want to solve it, or they start paying for it. But they can't do that because it's just round and round, and no progress is ever made. It sucks.
And people
is how I
gravitate towards the people that feel the same way they do. And so they just like, well, he's the only one telling the truth. It's like, well, no, he's just saying what you want to hear in whatever direction that ends
I'm
up
not
being.
just saying what they want to hear. I'm
not
saying what
talking
I
about
give a
you.
shit about.
I'm talking about the people who... never mind. I was making a completely different point about what the people want to hear in chat. Like, oh, well, he's the one telling the truth because he said X. I didn't say you. I said the way online... I'm talking about online discourse and the way it works, where it always ends up becoming A versus B, no matter the topic, even if people don't give a shit. They're like, it's that cartoon I've seen before from Extra Fabulous Comics where a guy walks by, sees a flag that says Team B, picks it up, looks at it and says, huh. Then sees a guy with Team A who says, hey. And he looks at the guy and says, what an asshole. Just because he has a different flag. It's like that just ends up being most online conversations. And it's not like I'm happy it's not coming to Xbox. I greatly prefer that it would. But when you're trying to talk about the realities of why it doesn't, then people think you're defending, and that's always been very frustrating.
because you can't
that's why
have
I-
this kind of sensible conversation. Unfortunately,
But that's why I always bring up in these situations, and they're going to obviously keep happening now because they're talking about bringing more of them eventually. That's why it frustrates me that Microsoft at least doesn't throw their own customer base a bone and go after the backwards compatible ones.
But equally, maybe they are, but maybe that shit has conversations. It takes time. They can't say anything. And that's the problem with us having one teeny piece of information and then we extrapolate out a bunch of different theories. I mean, arguably, that's why you guys are all tuning in, right? Is to hear us chat shit about video games. But you get my point, right? It's really difficult to be like, why is this? And then people end up getting mad and he's right and you're right and blah. And it's just like, it sucks for people that want to play that game. That's all we can really.
Well, you know what
Play
I'd
the
love?
game on a
I'd love-
specific platform, yeah. Because the game is there.
I'd love
but
if they were more transparent about why this shit is happening.
I would love if the whole industry was more transparent. But then again, I look at the other side of the coin of that and I'm like, most games don't come together. Like I'll give you an anecdotal example. I was chatting to a good friend of mine who absolutely adores the OG Fables, right? And he was lamenting how annoyed he was that the Fable trailer wasn't real. And I was like, it is real, but Microsoft has a different tact nowadays when it comes to big trailers, in that the old way of doing things for E3 would be like, go off and take a build and make it stable and make it playable just for E3 so we can record a demo. And that was a massive drain on the actual pipeline of finishing a game for whatever launch date you've selected. And I'm trying to have this conversation with him. He's like, well, I don't buy that. And I'm like, I don't know what else to tell you. That is true. And their mantra now is, we'll take snippets and edit it and da-da-da-da-da, but you won't see raw gameplay until a little bit closer to release, because that's when it's getting to that point. Like, video games are shit and awful and buggy and messy.
What is it we
right
heard?
up until about a month or two beforehand, and then they start to look as they should look, right? And it's like even the fucking one that leaked earlier this week, there's Space Marine 2.
Mhm.
Like, even that is gold, and it leaked from June, and there's placeholder assets and missing cuts, because games are fucking hard to make. So it's like trying to have this conversation and be reasonable about it and try and explain the way certain things work. Some people just don't want to hear reality. And the reality is, we know that the games aren't coming out. Do we know why? Could be a multitude of reasons, from money to business to the type of engine used, whatever the case may be. But we can't say much more than it sucks, because we don't know.
It was earlier this week, Star Wars Outlaws first 10 minutes, and people like Tom Henderson are like, oh, this looks a lot rougher than the demo they had for E3. And it's like, well, yeah, they're going to keep touching it up right until it's ready to launch, essentially. That's what the day zero, like, if we get it 2 weeks before launch, that's because they finally got it looking like that about 2 weeks before launch. That's why most of them, we get them a week before launch, because they know.
Or 3 days.
People are, first off, people are not used to seeing games not polished. And every time they do, they flip their shit, because we're not used to it, because they haven't let us see it. But also, they haven't let us see it because we always flip our shit when they do. Like, it's a self-perpetuating cycle of, we don't know what game dev really looks like. So when we actually see game dev, we assume the worst about something. But like, in the end, we as people who review stuff end up seeing,
even matter.
we see very
sorry.
different versions of games when we review them a lot. It makes it really hard. Like, we don't get the day one or day zero patches until our reviews are generally done and scheduled for a day or two after those patches come out. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like Dungeons of Hinterberg, right? There's a what I would call a design oversight in that game, and I hope that they watch the review and go, "Oh fuck, we forgot that. We better go fix it." And it'll probably be patched by the time someone on this chat plays it.
Mhm.
But on you pick up all this stuff as you're going around, and you can sell it. And on PC, if you're using a controller, so I can't say if this is the case with Xbox, but say I've got 305 items I want to sell, you'd think you'd just hold the stick up and it would just tally up the number, right? You have to press it up 305 times. Not good design, right? Bad. On mouse, I can just scroll the wheel and it will speed up and boop, fill, and I can just sell. Design oversight. And there's these kind of things that we might encounter in a review period that are like, yeesh, that's not good. But then by the time it's actually out to the public, they issued a patch for it. We've already fixed that. There's no point you mentioning it in your review. So we have to juggle this kind of stuff all the time. Game development is hard. Kudos to all the heroes that make it happen.
Anyway, back to SNK versus Capcom Chaos. Something that someone mentioned in the chat that I think we spoke about last time when this happened with Marvel versus Capcom was the other part that sort of rubs a bit of salt in the wound is the fact that here's Microsoft putting their fucking games everywhere, and then yet nothing comes back the other way.
Yeah.
Like, I know that's a bit broad because this isn't well, Nintendo and Sony aren't putting their games, but still, it's like, come on, man. Like,
that is the classic console wars style mindset, right?
what do you mean console wars? Just wanting a game on Xbox?
No, like, well, if they're giving your stuff, you should give their stuff, and it should be tit for tat, and it should be, but it's just business. Microsoft don't give a shit if a player on PlayStation's enjoying Sea of Thieves or not. They've just hit 40 million players and they're making bank. Like, what do they care? Why would they care about that? Why would they be sad? Oh, look at all this money we're making. This is really sad. They wouldn't give a shit.
My real
like,
fear
using
is
that as a point is kind of like, what's your point?
my fear is that the wrong people are now actually in charge of Xbox,
I don't disagree.
not who we think is in charge of Xbox or who they put out in front of the cameras.
I think Microsoft, like many large corporations, has a lot of frustrating middle management that make bad decisions because numbers go up versus good decisions for the actual health of the industry and or business.
And their names rhyme.
No, let's
Jim?
not get into that. Let's not get into
I muted him. It didn't come through.
Okay. You're a frustrating man to work with. Oh, Japes. Anywho, it sucks. It is what it is. What, dudes? That isn't a good look. What isn't a good look? What have we done?
No. This is why I
No,
hate
no,
these topics.
No.
We delve
Anime,
into
and
the
I think
dumb
anime.
shit.
No. I think Anime Compilations is talking about the fact that SNK versus Capcom Chaos isn't coming to Xbox.
It's the
Which
same
it isn't a good
conversation all the time. They're getting way more support than they used to, but they need to work on getting more. I think we all agree.
Do you think?
in that?
Do you
at
think
least.
it'll change when
No.
Black Ops? No, like when the COD machine is rolling and it's available on Game Pass. You don't think
No.
it's going to make a
No.
blind bit of difference? No, okay.
No.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I
I already explained to you all what would have made a difference, and we all understand that can't happen.
Yeah,
But we all know what would have made a difference, and that's locking that fucking shit down would have made a difference.
Engage, be a dick mode. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I don't disagree, mate.
You
Don't
can
disagree.
try and throw all the rational business arguments at me that you fucking want.
Yes,
You can
if we
try
throw
and
rationality and logic out of it, you can say whatever you feel like. I agree.
Doesn't change that I'm right. It doesn't change for a fucking millisecond that
You
I'm right.
feel the way you feel. It would never happen in the real world in any way.
All those millions of COD players would just stop playing COD
No, they would
rather
never-
than buy an Xbox.
They would never have been allowed to do it is the only counterpoint. Not
I
that it
know.
wouldn't
I said
work.
that. I know.
I know, but you're
it-
ignoring that.
it
I
would
don't know
work,
what this
though.
conversation is.
My point of contention is that it would work. That's all I'm saying.
Of course it could work.
And
in
it
a
would.
world it was allowed to happen, yeah. If you make stuff only on a
Okay,
platform.
that's right. So I'm technically correct.
No.
Which
It's
is
the
kind of
best
correct.
kind of
Because
correct.
The
you're-
best kind of correct.
You're having a conversation with yourself. There's no one actually giving any counterpoint.
Whatever.
I'm reading in the chat, college football train going right now from Terran. Apparently so, yeah. College football is selling Series S's. You know, I saw Snoop Dogg set up on Twitter earlier this week out of like a suitcase with some PC speakers shoved in the back or something. So I was like, what? Isn't this guy rich? Like, what's he doing?
Absolute povo setup. Even there's like a multi-millionaire.
Fucking mind blowing. I love people. It's great. But yeah, like college football's moving some units, right? People are really, really hyped about that
It's
game,
the
and Microsoft
first-
picked up the American market.
People are like, this should be the way everything goes. And it's like, well, this is much like Grand Theft Auto. This is generational. Like, this game has not been out since the beginning of the last gen. And now it is only on the new current generation. So those two things combined for a very GTA 6 like experience that you couldn't really get from almost anything else, where it's also very good. It's reviewing way better than Madden has, because again, it is completely and only focused on this two versions, Xbox and PlayStation, new consoles,
But
PS5
what makes
series.
it so much better?
People really
Isn't
like
it just Madden but college teams?
it's never been
People
that.
want to support their college teams as well.
So college football is way more big play offense and just hard hit intercept defense, because you have over 100 there's like 110 plus Division 1 teams. Like, it's just this massive disparity in talent you rarely get in football in reality. So college football is like this big atmospheric crazy
I'm
supporting
talking about the
local
game
teams,
itself
like,
now. I'm talking about the game itself.
but the game itself is, while it's not that different, the atmosphere and the fandom around it is very different than the NFL. Like, college football, especially in the South in America, is as big, if not bigger, than the NFL. And there's way more of it because everyone has a team, because there's so many friggin' teams in it. It's not like, okay, this state doesn't have one. It's like, no, like Wyoming has a football team. Like, they don't have one in the NFL.
It's actually one of the things I like about America and sport. Like, in Australia, no one gives a shit about the lower leagues. In Australia, we only care about the top tier leagues in all our sports. We could not care less about anything below that.
In basketball, a little bit in baseball, used to be a lot in baseball. Basketball and football, especially in the South, no matter where you are, they're huge. Like, they're a huge thing because it really does end up being this funnel to the major leagues for a handful of people that otherwise they don't actually have a team. Like, I live in Oklahoma. I don't have a professional sports team, but we've got like 15 colleges that are in various divisions and a ton of basketball teams and stuff. Like, it's just, there's so much more. It is enormous. And the NFL is run like shit. Like, they call it the no fun league all the time, because it's a bunch of billionaires play toys. So while college football is more make billions of dollars for organizations and schools, it is they're finally starting to pay people because they make so goddamn much money, but they couldn't even have a job at friggin' McDonald's if they wanted. Yet they've made their school $100 million over their career or something. So yeah, it's so much of this game and this series has always been the atmosphere of what college football is, and the more dynamic, over the top types of games you get in college football, because there is it is different rules. There's a lot more running from quarterbacks, and the run back, RPO, run pass option. Like, it's a different style of the same sport, and this game is supposedly very good. So it's been a lot of shit coming together. People who have been dying for one of these games for a decade, it being really good, and it only being on new consoles. So all those people who have just been playing Madden on their Xbox Ones and PlayStation 4s are like, well, shit, what's the cheapest way I can finally upgrade? And so that's why it's pushed so many Series S's along with the more expensive consoles.
I really enjoyed that description of college football.
No, like I said, I like how America is very, very passionate about their college and high school sporting teams. I actually really like that. It's good. By the way, Killer Instinct is at Evo at the moment. I'm watching it on Twitch, which is why you might be seeing some flashing colours and stuff in my face. I've got Twitch open here with the Killer Instinct top 6 is coming up. So anyone that does like fighting games, and in particular one of the greatest fighting games ever made in Killer Instinct, it's at Evo at the moment, top 6 coming up.
Nice.
Yep. What's next?
Next up, well, kind of quick one. We've already talked about all of the games that dropped in the second wave of Game Pass this month for July. But the only really thing to mention is the little hint, because everyone was like, oh, we know about all these 3 games that you've put on your blog post this week, Microsoft. What's going on? There's a little hint in there, wasn't there, Jesse? There was a little
And it was an interesting one. It was like, this is this week in Game Pass. And then, which is not normal because they are covering the next 3 weeks with their, because the way they normally do it, first Tuesday and then 2 weeks after that. And if the 2 weeks after that, it takes 3 weeks to get to the first Tuesday again, that means that this drop in July was going to be for the next 3 weeks of games because the first Tuesday in August is not for a little over 3 weeks after this one. And yet we only got, in this week, you're getting these 3 things you know about. And by the way, come back soon. We've got more to announce.
And one more to announce.
Oh, God, no.
The general rumor mill is churning. It's Call of Duty. Is it Modern Warfare 3 coming to...
So that was the newest one. That was the rumor. And I think
July
a lot of us...
24th is the rumor.
A lot of us were agreeing that it is so big, it would have... Because they had 5 games dropping day one that week. So if they did announce Modern Warfare 3, it would have just pushed them all into the background. So let those games have this week, and then Modern Warfare will dominate after that.
Yeah, and that's fair enough. And I think that's a fair thing to do by Microsoft.
And Zillion Jester, I must interrupt John, as I love doing that. Just fuck off, John. That's because Gaming Leaks and Rumors is an awful subreddit.
What's he even talking about? Label Nick's rumor as false. Which one?
Yeah, I don't know. I just always assume if they do something stupid, it's true because that subreddit is full of awful people. I have no idea about the moderators. They might be great, but the actual
the moderators are mostly okay. Like I've even had one of the moderators reach out to me on Twitter going, I don't know why they hate you so much.
The
I actually don't know. You seem fine. Like you seem like a totally normal dude.
The people that actually use that subreddit are awful. Like the users.
I feel like we missed Assassin Entertainment Super Chat back when he was making the point.
It was about Flintlock, right?
Yeah, it was about it was about the fighting game stuff. So do you want to just quickly cover that?
Do we miss the other
Sorry, Assassin Entertainment. Because Jesse and John were talking so much, and I completely fucking lost track of it.
It's because he's watching Twitch, you know.
I think what Nick is trying to imply is, how do you grow the audience on Xbox if the games keep skipping the platform? It's the same reason why JRPGs are now starting to sell on Xbox like Persona. That's right, because Microsoft paid for it and went out of their way to get that shit on there. That's right. That's exactly right. But as John and I have said before, that's going to lead to a situation now where devs will be like, well, cool, let's just skip Xbox in the hopes that they'll pay for everything. Okay. That's the cycle that you start.
And like they did it with the Arc System Works games, but there was another super chat way earlier about Flintlock that I don't remember if we did or not, from Christopher
Jetsa.
Yeah.
Yep. I think the amount of negative coverage for Flintlock is so unfortunate. Game isn't perfect, but it's fun and on Game Pass. Is there negative?
It's not negative review coverage as much as it's people just going all in on DEI because it's sweet baby. It's the dumb shit. It's the really dumb stuff. Not actually. There's a lot of stuff to talk about with that game. It's not that stuff though. But yes, also there's one more from Assassin Entertainment he just did because he is awesome.
Yes. Hypothetically, if next year College Football 26, COD 2025, and GTA 6 are current gen, how well do you think the Series S will sell, especially with the 10-hour EA Play trial and COD beta for GPU members? I don't know. Would people buy a Series S to play those games?
Yeah, they've been doing it nonstop for
droves.
For College Football 25. It's been sold out and selling like 10 times more than it normally does.
Like, there's lots of people that are like,
it's cheap.
I'm going to go out and buy a PS5 Pro because that's going to be the best place to play GTA 6. But I guarantee you, where's the cheapest place I can play GTA 6? It will be one of the questions being asked by a lot of people.
Affordability.
And it will be the Xbox Series S.
It's a big thing.
Yep.
In the US, at least, globally, it's not going to be as much, but also it'll, however many they choose to make, because they are also in that we're not looking to lose a bunch of money on hardware, friggin' mindset. So who knows?
Yeah. And I want to call out quickly, and I won't name them because they know why. But someone just dropped a sizable donation.
Oh shit!
Onto our ongoing PayPal Gamescom fund.
I'll refresh it.
If you're new to this, you'll hear, well, Gamescom PayPal fund. What are you talking about, John? What I'm talking about is the community has been working towards with great fervor, funding our entire community trip to Gamescom in Cologne next month. to go and cover it. We're going to be having our first live show here, XboxEra HQ, with Nick and Jesse live in the other room, doing a full in-person. We can like throw a pillow at Nick when he's talking too much.
No, just smother him.
all the fun stuff. Jesse, if he interrupts us, just wham.
Like, look,
It's going to be there, and you guys are making it possible.
this is how big my hands are. They should fit around your entire face. They're very big.
But like on that note, we are having a sub-a-thon next Friday. So Friday coming, 26th of July, Jesse and I, and whoever else pops in to say hello, we'll be going for as long as we can. Absolutely 12 hours. If we need to start up another stream, we'll start up another stream, because YouTube only let us go for 12 hours max.
Yeah. So if you've got like perfect internet that never, it's pretty much if you've got corporate fiber that almost never drops and you have redundancy backups, those seem to work okay. But everyone I know that just has home internet, it really likes to break after 12 hours. So we'll snip it. And if you guys are having fun and we're all doing the fun stuff, I'll go as long as I can. Yeah. I'm good through the podcast, because on Sunday going to see Deadpool and Wolverine next weekend. I'm very excited.
Ooh, me too. I'm seeing that too. Should we do a movie podcast about it?
Absolutely. We haven't done one this month.
Couldn't give two shits.
Really? Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be amazing.
I find Deadpool irritating at the best of times. I'll wait for it to come out on streaming services.
Nick and I can do one then.
I would say let's talk about Furiosa and Kingdom of Planet of the Apes on a movie podcast soon, because
I've seen Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, but I haven't seen Furiosa yet.
Both were good. Furiosa was excellent.
I thought Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was good.
It is a shame that Furiosa didn't make any money, because that kills Mad Max as a franchise.
Sucks.
It really sucks.
You know what I watched last night?
Yes,
because my wife hadn't seen it before. Backdraft.
Oh, classic. Classic.
Yes, that's what I said.
I
haven't seen it in over 30 years.
Bit dated
I haven't.
now.
Just a little bit dated. Just a little bit. Because then it was on TV, and it was just at the start, and it's like Ron Howard, Robert De Niro. I'm like, I forgot Robert De Niro was in this movie. I completely forgot. Because it came out in 91. I watched this movie in theaters as an 11-year-old. That's probably why I'm so fucked in the head.
Robert De Niro will feel skewered that you forgot about him.
I was watching movies that I should not have been watching as a small child. But yeah, watched it in full last night because my wife loves Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, and Chicago Med. She loves those Chicago shows. Oh. And so she wanted to watch Backdraft. She's like, no, I won't watch it on TV. We'll watch it properly tomorrow. So we watched it last night. She liked it, but I'm watching it and I'm like, man, I remember this movie being much better than it actually is.
Yeah.
Just
happens.
Like
It
Kurt
happens.
Russell. They had Kurt Russell. Right, so Kurt Russell's one of the main characters, and then they do a flashback scene to Kurt Russell and Billy Baldwin's father, who was also a firefighter. But the actor playing their father was Kurt Russell in the memory. I'm like, oh my god!
Wow, that's one way to do it. Back in the day.
Oh, I was like, holy shit! I didn't even realize they did this. It just, it's Ron Howard, so I wasn't expecting that level of cheese and stuff.
Yeah.
Lines like, come on, man. Don't you die on me, man. And I was just like, oh, God.
Yeah.
I forgot about all this.
Ron Howard has ups and downs, but we must immediately get to this because it is from our favorite member. Go.
Grand Benefactor, Torn Raptor. Wish I could watch, but night shift blows and sleep is required. Have a good show.
Appreciate you, Torn.
Thanks, mate.
Stupid night shift.
Night shift.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I don't miss not doing night shifts anymore.
We haven't seen Korkenstein because he swapped to night shift. Sucks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sad times. All right. Next up in news.
It's a big one.
Bethesda Game Studios has 241 members of their studio developers unionize, and this isn't just isn't just QA. This is all sorts from artists, engineers, programs. This is via Stephen Tortillo, who reported on Twitter as part of his GameFile subscription service. The Bethesda Game Studio workers have unionized, not the same as the Quality Assurance Union. This time, it's a wall-to-wall 241 developers, including artists, engineers, programmers, and designers, per the CWA, and that Microsoft has recognized the union.
Immediately.
Good.
They've lived up to their neutrality promise, so hopefully they... Because it's been very bad in America, especially with like Starbucks and some others, really union busting, so...
That's pretty good.
But according to the FTC, though, you know,
Look, it's not like Microsoft is great. They've also been, they paid, there's somebody who had been doing all of their scraping off of YouTube videos without asking for AI, and they got to deal with Microsoft. It's like, the AI shit I can't stand. Not because I'm scared of AI technology stealing jobs, because they've just been building it off of stuff they don't have any right to constantly. And it sucks in the way they're using it.
yeah, I don't know. I just, it's good. It's good that it's a full union, though, and not just QA.
Called it
Like,
wall to wall.
In theory, and only in theory, this should really help a lot to attract good talent to Bethesda. In theory. You're muted?
I think it would help.
Because, yeah, like if...
It only goes so far in the U.S. Like, it's not... The way unions end up working in the U.S. is like your benefits you might have more fight for better benefits, but a lot of the times it ends up being you get a better package once you're fired, not you don't get fired. So I am very curious how... Yeah, we've been doing a lot of work for the last few decades to really mess up worker rights, but certain states are still great. But obviously every state's got their own laws, and then at the federal level they can only do so much because states want independence in that way. So I'm not sure how Maryland is already. I'm not sure how Austin is because they've got the two studios. So we'll see. It's a good thing in general. Like they're not... Unions aren't perfect, but good unions are a lot better for workers than nothing, especially in this country lately.
Yeah, I think for the US particularly, it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if it's mostly about, for all intents and purposes, the package when you leave, doesn't that seem
that's
like
just a part
waste
of it.
then? Because Microsoft's packages when people leave are
They-
already some of the best.
Yeah, they fight for when you are summarily dismissed. They'll fight for what kind of coverage and health coverage you'll get. They'll fight to improve different elements. You've got to remember, Nick, like we live, you know, in pretty decent working condition countries
Yes,
where
I
we
know.
have a say, and you know we
And
can't
our
just get
unions, our unions are more like insurance for your job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our unions.
So it can vary. Like as Britt said again, it really varies depending on what state you're in. There are some states that are really good with how workers are treated, and then there's Florida, which is not. It's really bad no matter what, especially at the lower levels. So you don't see many Florida game studios for a reason. Like it's almost impossible to know how it's going to be unless you really know that state. It's not just a country thing here. It is a state thing first, then federal. Because it's always like states and the federal can say, well, you got to do at least this. But it's this constant back and forth. And that's what you've seen so much with the Supreme Court in the news, because our news is always so global because we're so influential. But yeah, it's a good overall first move. So hopefully it's something that keeps being a positive and keeps going on. Microsoft has, at the very least so far, lived up to their neutrality agreement with the CWA, where they won't stand in the way of any of it, because it's been a lot of union busting from various companies, especially Starbucks and others lately.
Yeah. Speaking of companies coming in and busting stuff up, fighting for you, the American taxpayer, the FTC are back with a vengeance because they saw what Microsoft did and what you guys got so upset about. The price increase that everyone was saying for the last 6 months was definitely happening. And then when it happened, you guys went crazy. Not you specifically, chat, because you know you're probably sensible because you're part of this community. The Federal Trade Commission, this is reporting from The Verge via Tom Warren, has blasted Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass price increases in a filing to the US Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit. The FTC calls this new Game Pass standard tier a degraded product. Doesn't it now include multiplayer?
The annoying thing, and I like
doesn't have day one.
I like the FTC's approach lately, I'm trying to say in English, to try and actually fix some things that have been broken. But it's super frustrating as somebody who pays taxes to help fund things like this that they just get the basics wrong so much. Because you can say day one's gone, degraded, but they replaced it with multiplayer, which by itself had been the 10. Like it's not gone if you had it. They write it like, well, if you had this, you now have to get Ultimate if you want that. It's like, well, but also if you have Game Pass for console, you're grandfathered in for as long as you keep paying for it. So if they hadn't done that part, they would be correct. It would be you have to upgrade to Game Pass Ultimate to get that on console anymore. But that's why they kept the grandfathered in part, because they know
couldn't be called out.
Yeah, because they would get shit on for it if they'd get publicly shit on and they'd get regulatorily shit on for it.
Yeah, but that's not even the dumbest part of it. The dumbest part of it is that they framed it in a way where Microsoft are abusing their market power. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's listening
What
to
market
Sony.
power?
It was listening to Jim Ryan when he constantly told them that they have a dominant position in subscriptions.
That was so stupid.
That's the problem. They don't. All the good lawyers here go private because you make ridiculous amounts of money. You can become a billionaire if you're one of the best. So, and the FTC doesn't have a huge budget. They didn't have leadership for a while because of partisan issues. Like, if you're a great lawyer, you're generally not going for like an FTC job. You're going for private. And I hope the people that are there are doing their best. But every time I see them file about this, it feels like people who don't really understand the industry that they are trying to help regulate. Because I would really like it if they understood it and did go for the things in ways that helped. That would be great. We need more of that. But they keep attacking it in ways that don't make any sense. And Microsoft's ridiculously high-paid lawyers immediately poke 50 holes in it.
Yeah,
just a waste of time.
This is all part
I heard
of
the words. I was just going to say, as soon as I heard the words abuse of market power, I'm like, how are we here again? What are you guys talking about?
Yeah, well, it's that constant thing where us as users look at them as third place, but the FTC are like, well, they're super dominant here in our constituency with their Game Pass offering. But the reality is also like PlayStation's got a bajillion PlayStation Plus users too. Like, and they up their prices. Like Microsoft is still in some places like the EU, they're still cheaper. In America, they will be more expensive now. But
Sony didn't improve the service.
Yeah, Sony just upped their prices, and Microsoft can look at that and say, look, the actual number ones over here in gaming subs just upped it last year.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
And also,
quote
it's not.
the FTC,
sorry, it's not. Also, it's not new.
It's interrupting all the time.
I know. The thing I wanted to say before, but forgot. This isn't a new thing. This is an additional filing on top of an already existing appeal.
Yes, correct. It is an addition to
the
the general appeal about the whole.
Yeah, people were like, oh, a new thing they're trying to do. And it's like, well, no, they're trying to add more ammo into their already existing thing that's been going on for 8 months.
Yeah,
or more.
But yes, the FTC specifically said Microsoft's price increases and product degradation, combined with Microsoft's reduced investments in output and product quality via employee layoffs, are the hallmarks of a firm exercising market power post-merger. Anyway, what did Microsoft have to say about that? They responded. This is via Tom Warren on Twitter. I'm not going to read all of this. But generally, the FTC's rule, the new filing, presents a misleading extra record account of the facts and is a continuation of the agency's attempts to reinvent its case on appeal. Early this month, Microsoft announced changes, blah, 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 blah. Among them, we're adding Call of Duty. The FTC barely mentioned subscription and trial, instead focusing on the theory that Microsoft would withhold Call of Duty from Sony's console.
Mm-hmm.
The district court correctly rejected that theory, which is now further eroded by Microsoft and Sony's 10-year agreement to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation, a contract Sony was, quote, thrilled to enter. I'm sure they were.
Mm-hmm.
While the FTC has now tried to shift focus to its alleged subscription market, its letter does not map into its arguments below. Setting aside that it is common for businesses to change service offerings over time, the FTC's case in all of its alleged markets has always been premised on vertical foreclosure, i.e., that Microsoft would withhold Call of Duty from rivals and therefore harm competition. But even in the alleged subscription market, Call of Duty is not being withheld from anyone who wants it. Cough up, Sony.
It's
you want
been-
to put COD on PlayStation Plus? Give us some cash.
As an idiot who does not understand the law at all, like the appeal is about the ruling, and they were focused not on Game Pass in the ruling. So I don't know. You're not supposed to add new things. You're supposed to prove that what you had already talked about was really true, and it was ignored against precedent.
Yeah.
So like that wasn't their main argument, and that was always one of the things they started ping-ponging around, and like the guy was trying to get Phil to say, I will guarantee that Diablo always stays on every console. And Phil's like, what? It has felt like just a bunch of gotcha attempts from people who don't know the actual industry they're covering, and they're going against ridiculously high-priced lawyers who will very quickly show that it is completely goddamn pointless that they keep pushing this. Like, the merger is done. I don't even know what they would want to have happen. Like, the merger has been going on and been done and had billions spent on it already. I don't know. But yeah, also
Move
court
on.
filings are extremely long, which is why I didn't try and do a news article on it, because I did not know how to parse it all.
Yeah, lawyer speak is the worst. Legalese is the worst kind of
Especially when
language.
so much of
horrible.
it is not saying anything in 500 words. Like, that's always the thing
It's
with
just fluff.
like I don't think Matt Booty or Sarah are the best at it to feel natural. Like, they'll say a lot of words and you're like, well, he didn't really say much there. But Phil is really good at saying a lot and making you feel like he really said something. But if you look at it, it's never in any way legally binding. Like, that is business and lawyer talk to a T. And it drives me crazy.
I'm just spotting in the chat, like, bear in mind, we're here. There's like nearly 200 people in the chat. Lodermius Lodern was asking a question and no one answered them, and they are sad.
Aw.
And they just put okay bye. Like, normally we respond to super chats, but like, chat, if anyone has an answer to his question, like, he's waving, he's throwing
he
out
said
all
hello.
sorts of
The
things.
Sabile controller.
Yeah.
Oh, so-
when is the controller going to be released? I don't think it
I
is.
don't
I don't know.
Yeah. The filings were
Wasn't
they
it
had
just
this.
a rumor?
Well, no, it was in the FTC filings. I, as someone who sat through all of them, very fun having with chat during the boring ass shit. That controller was part of the leak when they had that PDF that had all the extra things on it. And it said in there, this is what we want to do. And then in another part, it said, not approved for full. Like, so they weren't going to put everything in it. And that's all we know. So as far as like when it might actually exist, I have no idea. I hope so. It looks
Couple
cool.
of super chats.
3 super chats, I believe.
3. No, I think it's 2.
I put them in private chat. Unless I missed one.
Right. Assassin Entertainment. John, how much money do I have to donate for you to play and stream A Quiet Place game and Jurassic Park Survival on the channel later this year?
Lots. I mean, I love A Quiet Place, the movies.
I still
know,
need
I-
to see the new one.
I haven't seen the new one either. Yeah, it's on my list. But I don't know how keen I'd be on the game. Similar, look, dude, Dinosaurs and Me, like, I can't even play King Kong the movie of the game because of the T-Rex chases. Don't make me face them. Don't look at me like that, all right? I just can't handle being chased by stuff. Stop making it happen. It's really mean.
Good old Collingwood. Do you want to know what is 40 years old this week? The Never-Ending Story and Electric Dreams. You can hear those two movies. Together in Electric Dreams.
I got pinged for the Neverending Story cover. They said, this is a known cover of a major song. You're sharing revenue. I'm like, what the? You ping covers now? It's not even, it's like, it's not any of the original music. It's just somebody on a fucking keyboard. Oh my God.
Mohammed Sharez. Can someone explain what a union is?
They did in chat.
I think Jesse did.
Yeah, and people talk to him in chat as well. It's essentially a group of workers who come together to try and be able to collectively bargain better wages and a better reality for them at their jobs.
But
Essentially,
it only works when there's a large group.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work otherwise. You can't have a union of like one, because then the company will be like, bye, and they just lose their job. Like, it doesn't work unless it's a massive group. But yes, you know, it's funny. I'm watching Evo, and they were playing Killer Instinct on Xbox Series X's, but they were making them use PlayStation headsets. Because Evo's owned by Sony.
So were they just plugged into the controllers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had the Sony headsets plugged into the controller, but they were playing on Series X's. You could see them on camera.
It's a lot easier and cheaper than trying to get that many computers, and that's why people really would like if because you don't care about 4K and everything. Like Series S is actually great for a lot of smaller tournaments, but
But it was the Series X, though.
I
I'm
know.
playing on
Well,
Series
Evo's
Xs.
the big one, so they got the money.
Yeah.
I just found that funny.
Yeah.
It is funny. Next up in the news, this is an interesting one because it rings true, and it's interesting to hear it in black and white. I have to wonder.
It was a
if these
really
guys are
dumb quote. Yeah. As
This
part
is
of-
like, can I see you in the office on Monday?
Like, as part of the larger conversation, it makes sense in context, but that quote is all people saw, so it's like, oh.
Yeah. So this was a subscriber exclusive marketingweek.com talking about Xbox's marketing in the UK and Europe, and the byline here is, by being scrappy and avoiding the conventional, Xbox helped Bromley FC get promoted to the Football League for the first time in its 152-year history, whilst tripling the number of people who downloaded Football Manager 2024. Right, so okay, interesting, scrappy and avoiding the conventional, and then blah blah blah. And this is the quote that's definitely going to get Michael Flatt, EMEA marketing director, probably in a smidge of trouble. Although I love this because it's like he does add a positive, but tells the truth, and you can't get mad at him for that. He didn't lie. Lying's bad. Telling the truth is not bad. Don't punish the guy. He said, from a funding point of view, we need to work really hard against our competition, Sony, said Michael Flatt. Sony's PlayStation is the brand's biggest competitor in the console market, and regrettably, this is the quote, regrettably, they outspend us. They're blessed with marketing funds that we're just not able to enjoy, but that's totally fine. We adopt what I would call a more fiscally responsible approach to media investments. I mean, there it is in black and white.
Yeah,
Why is
fiscally
Xbox dead in
responsible.
Europe? Because Microsoft don't want to give them any money to try and market.
They
the fucking
don't market
thing.
in Europe.
They had talked about the ROI, which is Microsoft's key thing. That's always about return on investment.
Yeah, you know.
And they're like, we used to spend a lot more. We didn't see enough return. That's why we've gone to the more targeted approach. And it sucks.
There's an old
for
saying.
us.
There's an old saying that Microsoft obviously doesn't buy into, ironically.
Spend money to make money?
Got to spend money to make money.
Yeah.
Got to spend money to make money.
And,
when you're a $1 trillion company,
And the EMEA is Europe, Middle East, and Africa. So that's what he oversees.
Yeah. It's weird. In my line of work, we always called it EMEA. EMEA, APAC.
I probably does.
yeah.
And
yeah,
America. APAC. But
Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, because you have Jim and Sammy making all the calls now, like, what do they think is going to happen to the brand if they just keep taking the view of, oh, well, the ROI. What do they think is going to happen? Do they think that if they just stop spending everywhere, all of a sudden they're going to make more money? Are they fucking stupid? Like, I don't understand.
they have more data than we do. I don't know.
And it's curious because they have now given all the marketing essentially at the company. It was reported is under Xbox. So I'm just curious what changes, because it's not going to be the same as it was if they're changing that much. But what does that end up meaning? I just don't know. I hope it's good, but I have no idea.
But this all ties into the earlier reporting this week that Microsoft are pulling back. There was talk
It wasn't reporting. It was Tom Warren had said that he had heard rumors that they were going to shift focus on marketing in EMEA
And then people just didn't read.
Yeah, he heard a rumor that they were going to shift focusing from trying to push hardware to trying to push cloud and Game Pass.
Wait, did Tom Warren do a rumor mill? I'm sorry, buddy.
He
this
asked
is
a question.
copyrighted. This is a trademark.
It was a
brand.
Can someone confirm my rumor tweet? Essentially.
Oh, okay. This was part of Tom Warren's Notepad service. But yeah, obviously this interview probably didn't help that conversation a bit.
Especially when news is slow.
Especially when news is slow, because people got themselves all riled up.
The Tom Warren thing turned into, well, they're leaving. They're not going to be putting consoles out in these markets as much as they used to, which wasn't the rumor. The rumor was a shift in marketing focus, not even a lessening of budget. Like, it was just he heard they were shifting their focus on how they market. He didn't say anything about Tom Warren's not a clown. I'm going to delete that. That's mean. I won't delete it, but don't do it again. Tom Warren's great. As a human being, at least. If you don't like his reporting, fine. I don't care. But the shift was marketing focus. And that somehow turned into how many consoles they're going to put out and how much they're going to spend, when that wasn't the initial question he asked.
Yeah. So yeah, fun. More people. Now look, I think we need to take a moment here for a second. We've got a member chat for the man with the longest username.
The elemental hero, the Shadowlink Dragon Wolf King, member for 3 months. In the courtroom, Microsoft said they weren't going to change Game Pass immediately. Didn't say when, what, or why. Also, Yahoo Financial has more info on it.
Nice.
Yeah, I think the quote was, "We will not change it because we're adding Call of Duty or ABK games into Game Pass." So they would have to have a silver bullet of Microsoft saying in an email, Phil, to, one of the main people there, like Amy Hood, we're going to change Game Pass's price because of Call of Duty. Like, they would need that to have Xbox have actually gone against their word. They never said they weren't going to up anything, just that it wouldn't have been ABK's fault.
There you go.
Yes.
Now, I have to take a moment here. This is going to be a difficult topic because it's Halo and it's the TV show. And I know
Nick lost a job, potentially.
This is very close
just
to Nick's.
as me and Kay were about to start filming season 3 in Germany.
Yeah, I know that this is going to be hard, right, Nick? But we've got to get through this conversation. Halo, the TV show, has been cancelled at Paramount.
Has been not renewed.
Yes. This is being framed, and this is coming from me now. I'm going to be the reasonable one here, despite the fact that this show was shit. It's not that it's been cancelled. It's not that it's been cancelled because it sucked and wasn't successful. It did suck, but it was also successful. This has been cancelled because Paramount's fucking borderline broke. and like probably aren't going to renew much. So I think they're shopping it around now. I think Microsoft and whatever are shopping it around.
Yeah, so Paramount's focused on their merger. They're merging with Skydance. Having like Fallout just got renewed, but it's like 160 million or something. Like, the shows aren't cheap. They're definitely not looking to add an enormous budget while being merged for 8 billion because they had no money. They don't. What is the future of Paramount Plus? A lot of the old shareholders wanted them to sell it or get rid of it. Like,
Strange New Worlds is the only good thing on that platform. Like, I love Strange New Worlds as an old school Trekkie fan. Like, Strange New Worlds is legitimately great.
Yeah. Their big things have been focused at really old people, and that audience dies a lot, and so you lose a lot of people.
Yeah.
And they are shopping it around. Amblin and Microsoft and them are shopping season 3 around, hoping to find a new home. And I know a lot of people are like, no, just kill it and do something else. And I'm like, if they kill this, you're not probably getting anything live action Halo for like decades, if ever. It's this or nothing.
Just give the job to me and Nick. We'll make
too
a great
much money.
Movie. We'll make a great movie.
Super chat from Mohammed Sherez. HBO Max is rumored to pick it up apparently. Now, Mohammed, the person that rumor came from, as far as I'm aware, they flat out just say anything. Like, when John mentioned the secret project,
oh yeah, that
on
that
the
guy is a
podcast.
troll.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's a troll. I'm not going to say what I said to someone in a DM about this person, but he's not a troll. I'll explain off air what I think this person is.
Okay.
'Cause I don't go out of my way generally to say mean things about people.
And I
'cause people
appreciate
say mean
that.
things. People say mean things about me, so I know how it feels.
Yep.
So I'll say what I think about this person off air. But, like, for example, John talked about the secret project that we're working on, and then this guy took that and made a tweet saying that XboxEra and Xbox are working on a secret project.
Yeah, we had a deal with
and
Phil
it's-
Spencer.
He actually tagged
Yeah,
Phil.
got a deal with...
What?
Like, I think this bloke just says stuff. He just says anything. Like, and then he tags the accounts of these companies that he says stuff about. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I think he literally just says whatever. And he'll say anything. Like, if I was to now say something and just make it up and be like,
normal.
Microsoft is buying PlayStation. They're tired of losing, so they're like, fuck it, we're just going to buy PlayStation. You'll probably see a tweet from that guy in the next couple of hours tagging Microsoft, Satya Nadella, Sony, PlayStation, saying, oh, Microsoft's buying PlayStation. Like, it's reported, breaking news. Like, I think this guy just says anything.
Okay.
Literally anything.
Okay.
Does he have Twitter Blue?
Yes.
Yes.
Need that engagement to make you $20 a month.
Yeah. So right now there is no rumors as to who is looking at.
There was
picking it
another
up.
one
There's
about
nothing.
Christopher Nolan wanted to like do a trilogy
Yes,
of the first
Christopher
3
Nolan.
games, and it's like for Apple or something. It's like no.
That's the other one he said, that Christopher Nolan is doing something with Halo. I'm like, oh my God. And people were like, oh, for real? This would be amazing. It's like, guys, no.
If you don't get season 3 of this show, do not expect anything live action Halo for an incredibly long time, if ever. It took them
I don't know.
forever to even get this. No, it took them so long to get this because it's
but, like,
so expensive.
I
And
don't care. I don't care.
the
I
streaming
think-
Wanna know
boom
something,
has
Jesse?
died.
I don't agree with you that it's because it's so expensive.
Yeah, I don't agree.
I don't. You know who I blame for why we never get anything Halo? 343.
I don't even blame 343. Do you know who I
I do.
blame?
Who?
I blame whoever put that show together and actually said, quoted, "Don't play the games. I don't care what any of you want. I'm just going to make my own thing." Like, it
No,
makes
no.
no sense. It makes so little sense.
No,
Stupid.
it's 343.
Why would you
it's
blame
343.
343?
Because they're so fucking stupid about, oh no, you got to do it this way. You got to. They had Blomkamp. They had fucking Blomkamp and Peter Jackson on board and still fucking meddled and fucked around, and that fell apart.
That was Microsoft, not specifically 343. Do you know the story behind that?
Go tell me.
Microsoft wanted creative control. The studios
Yeah.
were like, no. And they were like, we don't want you fucking this up because this is our Halo game.
Yeah.
And they couldn't come to an agreement. That isn't 343. Like,
So you don't think 343 was involved in that discussion? The
343
overseas
was
of
like
Halo.
a year old at this point. Like, they barely existed, dude. This was Microsoft saying, we want our law nerds to have creative control of that movie with the studios. And they wanted a better profit margin split. And the studios were just like, fuck you. No. Walk away. Like,
And now look what we got.
now I know I'm so disappointed with what we got. Like, and I there were individual elements of it that I can totally appreciate and say that was well done. That was cool in terms of how the armor works, like looks on screen, how the combat scenarios were set up. But to just take something that fans have enjoyed for 20 years, the world, and just go, yeah, we're not going to do any of the stuff, we're just going to whole new
we're just going to
universe.
do our
It's the
own thing, man.
dumbest
Yeah, our
fucking
own
decision.
thing.
And I don't care what anyone says about it. The end.
Like, yeah,
Anyway.
we're just going to do our own spin and not relate to anything.
I
And
saw Jez
what's frustrating
collecting.
about this?
Go on.
What's frustrating about? Are you still talking about Halo, or are you going to talk about something else?
No, I'm just going to talk about Halo. It's Jez
Oh,
put
good. Okay.
a tweet out about Halo saying, "Hey, I'm want to hear from the community. What would you do to save Halo? Because as always, is the cycle of all Halo games. It's great when it comes out. It did get an 87 Metacritic. Everyone was freaking out about how great the multiplayer was, and now here we are in the future. It's the worst thing ever invented. Halo 5. I've actually seen it. Halo 5 was the best. Oh, it was so good. It was so original. And then I think back to when Halo 5 came out, and people were like, "Oh, Halo 4 did this really well." It's on loop. The Halo community is some of the worst. There's some really good people in it, but as a collective, they're just so freaking miserable all the time. Like,
My thoughts on
honestly,
Halo 5 have never wavered.
5 was a
From
great
day
game and a
one.
solid multiplayer. Really solid.
Amazing
Loved it.
multiplayer in SWAT. Amazing multiplayer in SWAT. It was back then. It still is now. That campaign was just very forgettable and ruined by the Water and Eternal fights.
Yes.
And the Prometheans are shit enemies.
Yes, I agree.
They're
Agree
shit
with all that.
enemies. As in, maybe not from a lore perspective, not that I'd know, but from an actual fighting them in the game perspective, they are
were
a
better in
shit enemy.
They were better in 5 than they were in 4. 4, they
Yeah,
were
4,
bad.
they had way
They were
too
shit
much
in
health.
both.
But at least in
They were
5,
shit in both.
they had specific counters in 5 that they didn't really have in 4, which meant you didn't have to fight them as long. That was the only positive.
Yeah. I don't know.
Just-
I don't think it's right to say if this gets cancelled, we'll never ever see Halo again. Someone will pick it up again in my lifetime. I'm sure of it, because there's
I
going to be
think
someone
season
with this kind of
3
passion.
Yeah, surely season 3. Like, to me, what's frustrating is it was just about to go somewhere good. You know, they finally got to the thing the game is based on
Yeah.
for season 3, and then this happens. I'd like to believe Amazon will pick it up. I'd like to believe that.
Bezos has tightened purse strings a little for his penis rocket.
It's funny, though. A part of me hopes that dude that just says stuff is true, because Apple picking it up would be amazing.
I wonder how
Apple
long
picking up
Apple's going to
Halo
go.
would be so good.
They have so many
do you
good
mean?
shows and stuff, but
They really
They
do.
have amazing shows.
I know,
and
but
movies.
like supposedly they're not making a bunch of money off of them. So I'm always worried that because they haven't been renewing everything lately. So worried.
Because their quality bar on their entertainment is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's
I
not
don't
much
disagree.
bad stuff on Apple TV. Like, it is mostly all very good.
Yeah. I have to say, like, I know people are like, oh, you know, maybe season 3 will get picked up here. There's been people saying, oh, you know, wouldn't it be great if they just rebooted it and did something different? I'm one of those people. I would love them to just be like, let's fucking do this again. Sorry about that. We had a bit of a boo-boo. Let's tell a proper Halo story.
But
now.
why? They just
I know.
got to Halo. Like,
Because
they've got
I
a chance now
dislike
to just do
everything.
CE.
Yeah, but they won't, mate. Mate, they ain't gonna do shit. They ain't gonna do shit in the
I
way
think
that you
that's
want.
where it was leading. I think
No.
it was leading to them saying, "My bad. Here it is. Here's Halo CE as a TV show. Here you go. This
Oh,
is
my
what
sweet
you all
summer
wanted.
child.
We're doing it now."
I just don't believe it. I don't believe it.
What
But
would the
maybe we'll
story
never
of a
know.
Halo CE TV show be?
Oh, why do you keep saying that?
You literally
Why
just said
do
they were
you
getting
keep
to it. What would
saying
it
that?
be? You just said they
I've
were getting
talked
to
to
that.
so many people. I've described it to so many people what a Halo TV show could have been based on the game, and it doesn't have to be purely CE. See, look at that. First, he doesn't let me talk for the entire show, and then as soon as he hears something he doesn't like, he just takes the headphones off.
I know
on
this is a
that point-
conversation that riles him up. Like,
And
it does.
on that point, the reason I should talk the most on the podcast is because everyone already hears you two in everything else all week. This
true.
is their only chance to hear me. They already hear you two in headlines. They already hear you two in reviews and everything else. This is their only chance to hear me. So
To hear
it
the
seems fair
opinions
enough
of
that I
Nick.
should talk. That's
please,
right.
please continue.
A Halo CE TV show, look, what's wrong with the story? Like, if you were to blend the Fall of Reach with
Yep.
CE
Yep.
and just a dash of Halo 2 over 2 or 3 seasons, what's wrong with that story?
Nothing.
Children being stolen, right?
Yep.
Children being stolen from their families and replaced with clones who are predetermined to die within a few years. These
Yep.
children are then taken, genetically altered into super soldiers and trained, right? So already you've got a great grounding there.
Mhm.
they then make these Spartans. Everyone they discover the Halo rings, which are these fucking ancient weapons that can wipe out the entire universe. There's an alien race, or there's an alien covenant made of different alien races that have discovered Halo just like we have, and we're both trying to get to it first and control it. And you've got the fucking what are they called? Oh my god, I've gone blank on them.
Forerunners?
The prophets.
The prophets, yeah.
Who are fucking running all. Look, I think the story of it would be fine.
I am just right. So just to play devil's
It's not
advocate,
going to be Oscar worthy.
I understand Jesse's point in that if you actually play through Halo CE as its own single entity and you ignore either side of that bookend, because you made a very different point. Like before Jesse disappeared for a moment, you were like Halo CE, but your point is more we take ingredients from Fall of Reach, we take Halo CE, we take a bit of Halo 2. Yes, to that degree. But I think the problem is
if you're doing multiple seasons. You have to.
If you were just to take Halo CE, generally as a story, you've got some pivotal moments. You've got the Pillar of Autumn crashes. They land on a Halo ring. What the fuck is this place? Captain Keyes is captured. Captain Keyes is rescued. We heard them talking about the assault on the control room. We go through the thing. We have the flood reveal. We run for our lives. The captain's turned into a flood. We've got to blow the Halo ring up. The end of the season. Like that's a lot to do for in a 10-episode arc. Not impossible.
8. Do it in 8.
Personally,
do it in 12.
Personally, I am not one of those people that's like, he should never take his helmet off. That's dumb. This is television. It's not a video game. All right. Sorry, those people. Get a grip on your lives. All right. Would you want to play this part as an actor, as an established serious actor? Do you want to play this part? No one's ever going to see your face ever. And like people come at me, Mandalorian doesn't take his face. Yes, he fucking takes his helmet off all the fucking time. What are you talking about?
No,
anyway,
he doesn't.
He does take it off a lot.
No,
he took it off twice.
I've seen him.
Don't just say stuff for the sake of saying it. He took it off once or twice.
Two times.
Took it off once or twice. That's
it's possible, right?
Across 3 seasons. And that's Pedro Pascal as well.
He actually stopped doing the acting on the show too. He just does the voice after starting with season 3. He stopped actually being in the suit.
Oh, shock. Anyway,
so like
kind
I
of
said,
made my point a little bit there.
we didn't at all. Mandalorian completely disproved your point.
No,
the actor didn't want to do the job. It's not
there was a fight
anymore.
over money because they're like, well, you're not in the suit anymore. You're just a voice, so we'll pay for a voice actor. And he's like, no, eat shit. So you're going to run into problems like that.
Yeah, like
okay, but
my
that's
point
fine.
is,
but for 2 seasons, he was in a helmet, and it was Pedro Pascal.
And then they were like, why are we
not
paying you for this? We're never seeing your face.
I'm not bothered about whether he keeps his helmet on or not. That isn't integral to the Master Chief and the character for me. I don't mind seeing an actor's face, even if it's the same dude, you know? But for me, it would be you start off with the kids kidnapped, all of that jazz.
Cover all that.
You actually start off with the Fall of Reach. Fuck, what
Fall
am I
of
doing?
Reach.
Oh my God. And then you flash back, you see the kids growing up, getting kidnapped, growing up through training, blah, 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 blah.
Why is he taking off his headphones?
It makes him really cross. It makes him
That's
really
so
cross.
immature. That is so immature. I hear shit I don't like all the time, and I still sit here and I fucking listen to it. I don't just take off my headphones and walk away.
I think he just wants us to be done with the conversation because we've had it.
Not everything has to be Oscar worthy and fucking art house television. Like you can just have simple popcorn stuff that's just for everyone too. Like Halo's story is more than decent enough as is to carry a decent TV show if it's written well and cast well and executed well. More than decent enough. Like, The Last of Us is just a fucking stock standard post-apocalyptic fucking, the road. Seemed to still be a pretty good fucking TV show, didn't it?
Yes.
Nothing complicated about it. Why? Written well, acted well, executed well.
And that's the thing. It's like the thing I can't get away from, and we've made this point a million times, as a lot of people in the chat are pointing out, is by doing what they did, like regardless, like the reason it's cancelled isn't because of what they did, right? Let's make that clear. It was a successful
No, it's not because the show sucks. It's not cancelled because the show sucks, and the show does suck, but that's not why it was cancelled.
It's not been cancelled because of the creative decisions they made. It was cancelled because of Paramount's situation.
Correct.
But it's still it irritates the shit out of me that as a Halo fan who waited for 20 years, they ignored everything that most Halo fans wanted to see happen. That bit from the game, that bit from the book, and none of it actually really occurred. And that's what. That's why you're not seeing. That's why you're seeing this kind of conversation where they're pointing it at all of this stuff, because people are annoyed that they didn't get what they wanted out of the opportunity. Mash with 10 Xbox era memberships. 10.
Thanks, Mash.
Many thanks. He's trying to change things up a little bit and get off Halo, which we will. That's it. It's the end of the Halo conversation. It makes everyone mad.
I want to fucking keep talking about it because it pisses me off too. I've wanted a live action Halo thing forever, and it pisses me off too. It's fucking bullshit what they did to it. Fucking hate these fucking people that think they know shit better than everyone else.
Yeah,
I fucking hate it. Like, it pisses me off. Like, it just had to be something simple. It didn't have to be complicated.
Episode 6, a Halo in our universe. Episode 6, right? You start off and it's the Chief isn't in it at all, and we're just following Johnson and the Marines as they're retconning this jungle, and we see Private Jenkins, and we go there, you know, and it's like a horror episode, and at the end Jenkins gets jumped by the flood, and then it cuts, and the Chief takes the chip out, and he's like in the room. What a fucking brilliant directorial thing. So we don't see the Chief the entire time, and then he's in the room, and then it cuts as the flood enter. Boom. People would be like, "Oh my god!"
There's so much you could make a really solid, simple TV show out of Halo, man. They didn't have to overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it would have been, and I'm not trying to argue it would have been the greatest TV show of all time. I'm just saying they could have done a completely solid, good, action-based sci-fi show. Really simple. Like, it didn't just...
You tell him, Hytham.
I just, you know... I don't know, man. Man, I could say so much more. Like, so much more.
But it would just be repeating everything you've said 9,000 times.
No, this is stuff I haven't said before. But it's stuff that would probably get me and us in trouble. Like,
it's fair to say we don't agree with the creative decision, but that's not why the show was cancelled. The show's cancelled.
No.
Because Paramount's situation is what it is.
Because of Paramount.
Let's see
what
what
happens. Nothing to do with the show being shit.
2. And maybe they'll turn on a dime and do exactly what you want, Nick, and have a run through of the plot points. I wouldn't be adverse to seeing that done imaginatively, but
spoiler alert. They had a chance at the end of season 2 to basically make season 3 Halo CE the show with a dash of Halo 3. Because the Arbiter was there. And I'm like,
different Arbiter,
cool.
Bro.
Oh, whatever. Oh, yeah, because that really fucking matters in this show. That really matters in this show, does it?
Well, if you're going to have a CG Arbiter in a Halo show, you've got to get Keith David on the line.
Because this show gives a flying fuck about that. They had a chance to be Halo CE with a little dash of Halo 3 because you got the Arbiter with you, and I thought that's what they were going to do. I thought they were going to have this big fight, and then somehow at the end of that fight they were going to make them mates and be like, "Hey, we should be fighting on the same side." And I thought, "Oh, cool." So they're trying to sort of bring it back on track in a way without totally following everything, but they're sort of trying to get us in the space. I appreciate it. And then they kill the Arbiter, and I'm like, you dangled the carrot and you took it away again.
It was a cool fight, though. It was a cool fight.
It was a very cool fight.
I got to call out Portal Payer. It was one of the most popular shows on Paramount Plus. I don't know what that means in terms of real numbers, but it wasn't that it was unpopular.
No, if you believe Paramount, allegedly, it was quite successful for them.
Yeah.
So again, we're not trying to say that the show sucked and that's why it was cancelled. That's not why it was cancelled.
We feel that way, but that's not the reason it was cancelled.
Yes. So we're not going to perpetuate a myth that isn't allegedly true. It was cancelled because of Paramount's situation. But I got so frustrated. Like at every turn, just when they made you think they were going to do something good, they went and fucked it up. Like it was just... Man, it was just this never-ending series of kicks to the balls. Like, seriously, it's just like... It's like, hey, check this out, guys. Bang. And they just kick you in the nuts. And then just as you're starting to feel better again, and they're like, oh, we're sorry. Bang. Kick straight in the nuts again.
A few cool fights at you. You know. And then, yeah, we're going to kill Keys now. What?
Hey,
no worries.
Look,
no
guys. Look, guys, we're talking about the Halo ring. Story about this other person that you don't know. We're just bringing them in. Fuck
even better. Here it is, guys. Here it is. Full of reach. About to see Master Chief kick some. Ah, psych! He hasn't got his arm up, bitches! Write your fucking columns about that!
Hey, you know this super soldier? You know this cool super soldier that fucking can't be beaten? He ain't super this season. He got nothing. He's doing absolutely nothing.
We've up. Jesse's left the show now. This is not good, is it?
Oh shit. That's so funny.
Oh,
It's also quite sad, but it's funny.
oh dear. All right, it's enough. We're done. We're finished. Yes.
Yeah.
We're okay. We're okay. Yeah.
My balls are feeling better now.
Okay. Oh,
shit.
all right. In other news, you can come back now, Jesse. Come on, it's over. It's over, bro. Amazon's Fallout show has received no less than 16 Emmy nominations.
A good show.
Let's not bring Halo back into it. Let's just leave it here at this. Its showrunners say season 2 only scratches the surface of the story they want to tell. Included nomination, this is via VGC, Tom Ivan writing, nomination for Outstanding Drama, which pits the show against the likes of Three Body Problem. This was better than Three Body Problem. Shogun, excellent. The Crown,
I need to see
okay.
Shogun. I need to see Shogun.
Yeah, I haven't watched Slow Sources or Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Walton Goggins, nominated for Outstanding Lead Actor. Nominated for Writing, Visual Effects, Production Design prizes too, among others. Congrats to the team.
Yeah. Amazing what happens when you make a good show.
Oh, it's good times.
Didn't The Bear get a fuck ton of nominations too?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to this stuff. Like,
I think The Bear got an absolute shit ton of noms as well, as disappointing as season 3 was. Man.
Yeah. Season 3 of The Bear.
What a letdown. Seriously, like, we were so pumped.
I'm waiting.
So pumped.
I know. I'm waiting for them to be like, we filmed season 4. It's out next month. Like, I'm waiting. Come on, guys.
Oh, man.
Like, this was just a little teaser because a lot of it was so. I mean, it was exquisitely shot. It was exquisitely acted. I didn't hate any of it, but I was like, what's happening with the story? Why are we pinning it all on a review that hasn't happened yet? Why is John Cena here? I want John Cena.
I love John Cena. I'm sorry, but I think he's underrated. Let me choose my words carefully here. When I say underrated as an actor, I'm not trying to say he's this amazing actor. I just think he's better than he's given credit for as an actor because he was a wrestler. I don't mind John Cena. I really don't mind him as an actor. I think he's funny. I think he does dumb funny well. He does dumb funny well.
He was fun as a fac. But anyway.
Yes.
So
the haunting stuff. The haunting stuff was great. That was actually great. I'm haunting you. I'm haunting. Stop haunting me. I don't want to be haunted anymore.
Yeah, it did make me laugh.
I thought that stuff was great.
Oh, dear. So good. Oh, dear. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, congrats to Fallout. They'll probably clean up a fair bit because I think universally a loved TV show from critics and fans alike. Next up, and you might have seen this, Xbox being a little bit cheeky.
Yeah, how good is this? How good is this console?
It's cool, but did you know that the butt comes off via magnets? Yeah, it's not.
So it's not built into the controller.
No, there's magnet pins on the back of the pad, and it clicks on. That butt can be just slid right off. You put it in your pocket.
It might be uncomfortable to use with it on.
Yes, I imagine it would. So clever design. But that's right. Microsoft partnered with Deadpool and Wolverine for a collaboration with an Xbox Series X with the foam katanas, like to look like Deadpool's swords, and a pad
That
with
looks so
Ryan
good.
Reynolds' butt on it.
I wish Microsoft would sell these.
Yeah, a lot of people lament that. Like, you do all these special editions, but then one person
Sell
in the
them.
world gets to own it.
It might help you sell more consoles. Charge extra for them. No one's asking you to sell them for the same price. Charge extra. They're limited editions. But people would buy them. Even for large amounts of money. People would buy them. Remember in the 360, I mean, even Xbox One had a shit ton of limited edition consoles.
Yeah, it's so much cheaper to produce, I think, dude. Like, the world has changed, and it's just, we don't get the things we want anymore. You know?
I've entered to win this. I want to win this so bad. I want to
Yeah,
win this
who
console
wouldn't
so
wanna win?
bad.
It's very funny.
It's so cool, and I love Deadpool. Deadpool 1 and 2 were great, and I'm so excited about Deadpool 3. Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm so excited for that movie. So pumped.
Honestly, barely remember Deadpool 2. I was like, yeah.
It was fantastic. And the Brad Pitt cameo in it, when everyone discovered that was Brad Pitt, and I'm like, oh my god, that was Brad Pitt in Deadpool 2.
Just for a little flash
It
of when
was-
he's electrocuted, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, very silly.
Yep. I thought that was
Oh,
genius.
dear. That was fun.
But yes, this console and controller is great. Like they've actually gone to serious effort with that controller and the texturing on it and all that sort of stuff. It's actually really, really good. At least the controller let us buy. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, they're all about controllers.
Yeah,
Are
pump
they?
them out. Microsoft, if you're watching, send one to us, and I won't
Oh,
let Nick
please.
steal it, and we'll give it away to the community because, you know, we're
No,
cool like
please
that.
send me a controller so that I can do an unboxing or whatever. I get fucking nothing.
You can cup Ryan Reynolds' butt and just be
Yeah,
like,
I'll grab his
this
ass.
texture of this butt is great. It clicks
grab
onto
Ryan
the
Reynolds'
pad.
ass.
Great.
That's
Yeah.
so cool. I don't know where I'd put it if I won that console. I have no space for that here. I don't know where I'd put it. I'd find a way. But man, it's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so
Very,
cool. I just
very
wish
nifty.
they took the logo off it at the bottom.
That's
The-
one thing I hate about brands is their insistence on putting the freaking logo on it. Like, it's the same with t-shirts, right?
Yeah,
You see
Yeah,
a
they
really cool
ruin 'em.
game design t-shirt, and then they whack like
the logo.
the brand and Xbox, you know, and I'm like this is fine, and it actually for once doesn't say specifically Xbox on it on the back or anything, but they are few and far between a lot of the time. They often just shove logos on everything and brands.
Same with wallpapers.
Yeah.
Like, if you've made a really cool design, at least make a version without the logo. A clean one. If I want a desktop wallpaper, I don't want the name of the game on there. I don't
Yeah.
want Xbox's logo on there.
I just want the
Just
art on its own.
Just give me the art. Just
That
give me
has
that
been-
avowed art.
One of the nicer things is getting access to press sites and being able to just get
Yes.
clean key art.
Yes.
Key
When they
art.
have it. When they have that stuff. Sometimes
Most
they
of the
still
time,
don't have
every
it.
once in a while, yeah.
Annoyingly.
If a game's only like in preview and they only put up a few things, but like once a game's getting close to launch and they want you to stuff your review page full of their nice screenshots, and I don't normally because then people all just have the exact same screenshots and you don't learn anything from different reviews, they start pumping out nice stuff.
Yeah. Feature image is usually a nice key art, right? Like, or a poignant scene. But like, I'm really looking forward to whenever Avowed comes out, like what key art we'll get from Obsidian for that. Like in the
Isn't
the-
it just that skeleton?
Well, the main
never
one
know,
will
though.
be their box art, but they'll probably have some more stuff too.
yeah, I imagine. It's like they've been working on it for a while. Oh, excuse me, my goodness, it's getting late. Last two bits of news. Xbox 360 themed, so you know, get nostalgic, people. First of all, for those Xbox 360 digital hoarders, the marketplace gets one final round of price drops.
It was tiny.
before it
Yeah,
closes
check that out.
on July 29th. So get in there. You have 8 days by my calendar. It's closing July 29th. You can get in there on that and pick up some deals for some silly money off at this point.
Yeah, so it's the stuff that's not back compat. So if it is backwards compatible, it's still purchasable. But anything that's not backwards compatible, if you want to play it on native 360 hardware, you have to buy it soon, because as Eden, who works at Microsoft in the UI team, I think, has told us a lot, that store breaks things for them all the time. So that's most likely why this is finally happening. People don't buy enough, and it does mess up the current store, so retiring it.
Yep. But that's not all. That's not all. They've also released this week a lovely looking Blades background for the Xbox Series consoles. So a dynamic background that emulates the Blades of old. I mean,
does it move? Does it move, or is it just that green blade and that's it?
It's the blades and some circles that animate. It's kind of like, like I wouldn't use it. But...
Yeah, like I get the nostalgia of it, but like I feel like that theme would have been better if somehow they got it changing or responding to you doing.
Like if you were to
things.
select store, it would change behind you.
Just some, which I understand would be incredibly difficult to pull
it's just
off,
a video.
Don't get me wrong.
So it would have to be a whole
app. Yeah, it always blows my mind that they're like, I see people like, this was the best UI, and I was like,
it looked cool. Yeah, it was fun.
It was a great. It was great.
No, it sucked to use. I never liked using blades.
No, it didn't. What was bad about it? What was bad about it?
There was a million clicks to get to stuff, and it slowed down massively, and then they replaced it, and it was still slow with the NXE, but at least the NXE, you could do everything from the pressing the Xbox button. Like everything. Like the nostalgia for the blades is weird. Like looks cool, really cool sound. I loved the sound. It's a unique UI, but I don't think it was like super functional and the best. But then it
wasn't super functional or the best, but it also wasn't terrible to use.
I did
functionally.
It was fine when it was new, and it was like it wasn't as digital focused. But as you started getting more and more app and download game functionality built in, I didn't keep up as well.
Yeah, it really like got
okay, but that's what updates are for.
Oh, I know, that's what I'm saying. But people are always like, they should just go back to it, and it's like, I don't think it would actually work when you've got 100 games that you own and you want to go through stuff and you've got all these social functions and all that stuff. Like it wouldn't.
I disagree.
I mean, I
haven't.
I haven't used it since it was retired, so
I
have no idea.
I had a 360 that still had it. My Halo 3 360. Wow. Yeah, my Halo 3 360 hadn't been updated. Amazing. I plugged it in to prove when I sold it so I could send screenshots on eBay.
Yeah.
I proved that it was still running the Blades dashboard. That's how long it had been since that 360 had been updated. And I started using it, and it was still great. It was still... and again, remember, updates. There could have been a way to update it to allow it to work better with larger libraries and this and that and the other. I think it still could have been made a totally usable UI. Again, not saying greatest ever functionally. It's sort of like XMB. Unique. It's sort of like XMB on PS3. Beautiful to look at. Arguably the greatest looking UI ever made in terms of just pure aesthetic and how it looked and the way the themes worked with it and all that sort of stuff. Functionally quite terrible.
If I go offline,
there's a Twitter account.
Enormous thunderstorm just started. If I end up getting kicked,
man.
No, that would explain why you went all funny just then.
It's very loud.
There's a Twitter account. There's a really good PlayStation Twitter account called Real Radic. And he's obviously a massive PS3 fan because his content on Twitter is mostly PS3 focused, which is probably why I like him so much. And, he mentioned the PS3 XMB and how good it was. And I replied to him. I'm like, yes, visually, beautiful. Fantastic UI. Functionally, fucking garbage. And the number of people that were in the replies that were like, oh, what do you mean? It was super easy to use. And I'm like, are you guys all right? Like, to do anything in that UI, you had to go scroll. I'm like, that's not a good UI,
design.
guys. That's not good. Like, it looks pretty, but to
That's-
use on a day-to-day basis, that's not good.
Yeah,
what
that's
are you
people
talking about?
conflating. I know where to go to do it.
Yes.
With good. You know,
Yeah,
that's
I
not the
knew where to
same
go.
thing.
I knew where to go in the PS3 XMB as well because I used it so much. I knew where to go too, but that doesn't mean it was good to use. Like, it was terrible to use. It was shite to use. It wasn't good at all. But it looked stunning. And this is what I keep saying to people about that complain about the Xbox Dash. I really feel like people don't understand what actually makes a good functional UI. The Xbox Dash right now, not the best to look at, functionally still quite good.
Yes, you can do everything pretty easily in
like,
a few presses.
No one bags Xbox's Dash more than me, but functionally, it is still quite strong compared to most.
Yeah.
Main annoyance is
the PS
having it drop video for HDR transfers. It would be great.
Yes.
I don't care that the HDR looks better for the dashboard. I don't care if the dashboard's brighter. It would just be nice to not have it constantly completely drop video for 3 or 4 seconds every time you load an HDR game.
It makes it a nightmare for using like Elgato capture cards as well. I found is that video drop, the capture card gets really confused. Whereas if you kind of have to sometimes go back to the dash for the capture card to be like, oh, you're there.
The
Xbox,
HDMI
hi.
handshake can break either to your TV or to the capture.
It drives me
It did
nuts.
not
It's
ever
like-
with Avery Media, but it does with Elgato.
You know, the one thing I do love about the PS5 UI, again, functionally, it's not the greatest, but what I do like about it, I don't know how often you guys use a PS5.
Once in a while.
When you press your PlayStation button to bring up your guide equivalent or whatever with PlayStation, it never hitches. It just keeps operating flawlessly. Where sometimes the Xbox can kind of shit itself a little bit when you bring up the guide.
If you are
That's a
online
frustration of mine.
and there's any server issues, the Xbox UI gets hit a lot harder because it is so attached to being online. If you're offline, it's super smooth every time. But yeah, their calls for everything on server side is can be rough.
It's very annoying.
There you go.
But yeah,
That's all the news. So, without further ado, I believe it's time for a lovely game of Name a Game.
wait, name a game or what year, my dear?
I already gave you the
Name a
buzz-in
game
code
according
in
to-
private chat. That's
I
how you know.
I'm just saying.
You don't use
yeah,
buzz-in.
true.
Hitting that button.
That's true. How come we don't do what year, my dear? I
Because
thought that was supposed
it's
to
when I
make your
have
life
ideas.
easier.
Yeah, when I had an idea
had
for this
ideas.
one, I just saw a bunch of things and was like, oh, I got some really dumb things, so I'm hitting that button. And I got to put us
That's
on.
right. It's
Desktop
time.
audio. Oops.
Now, it's worth saying that none of this is possible without our brilliant patron community.
Though we
and
haven't
our
got
YouTube members here.
we haven't gotten a single new patron the entire month.
I know that's sad. If you watch us regularly, maybe consider heading to patreon.com/XboxEra and pledging support for as little as a cup of coffee a month, because that's all it needs to be. Thousands of you did that, we'd be laughing. But we really appreciate the patrons we do have, and every episode we play a game. It's either this or What Year, My Dear. We pick champions, and we're going to play for some patrons now to try and win them some game codes. So who are we playing for this week, Nick?
I am playing for Lee. That's it,
Hi,
Lee. And John is playing for Shadowless AU, aka
the
Cam?
achievement.
Yeah. I need you to vamp a little bit because the friggin' scoreboard says Rand instead of sick. I gotta fix it.
who has
That's
his own. Cam has his own podcast,
He does.
which I was also on.
Hall of Gamers, I
Um,
believe.
Yes. Hall of Gamers?
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm
Fixed.
pretty sure.
Yeah. Hall of
We
Gamers, I'm
vamped.
pretty sure.
There's a little bit of vamping.
Jesse. What's the theme this week?
The theme this week are, sorry, it's another one about games released in a specific year, but that year is 2021. Games released in the year 2021. Now, by the way, there's like 20,000 games released every year now, conservatively. Didn't make that number up. It's something crazy, thanks to Steam especially, and the ID at Xbox program and Switch and our PlayStation and their indie stuff. There's a lot of games. Tried to go with things I think you guys might know and or were just funny. So, games released in the year 2000, 0, 21, 2021, 2021. Quite a bit of them. First to 3 wins.
Okay.
If John wins, it'll be because he got the first 3, and then Nick will get the next 7.
That's the way of
7 in a
things. Let's see what happens.
Number 1. Oh my god! Oh god! I forgot how long this is. Don't yell at me.
Oh god. Oh god.
Not the game. The game is not long. The game is 3 words. But the hint is like 12. You'll understand why when you see it.
Okay.
Okay, Jesus Christ. I can barely fit this on the screen. Oh my god. All right. Putting it in chat for you and then showing it here. It is... The first word is Stephen King novel about a child eating spider demon grasps dyad. Sicca Mechanico.
It Takes Two.
Oh, it didn't show it. Damn it. There we go. Correct. Stephen King novel about a child eating spider demon. It grasps, takes dyad, too.
A child eating. I mean, really, it's it's that spider demon, but it's a clown for 99% of the movie.
And
Stephen King novel about a clown.
that would work, too. I don't understand your point.
That's right.
They both work. What do you want? If you had guessed it, you wouldn't give a shit. Number 2.
We are all friends,
Why?
by the way.
But it is a spider demon pretending to be a clown or hiding as a clown. Would be even more accurate if you want to get super pedantic. Number 2 is... And shit, my friggin' button's not working on the thing to show the question for everyone. So there they see it, and I'll give it to you. It is... Animation is anomalous, unvarnished hues. Animation is anomalous, unvarnished hues. Nick.
Life is Strange. Oh, shit.
Start on the timer.
Something colors.
5, 4,
Life is Strange.
7.
Living.
In living color.
shit.
3, 2, 1. Sicca Mechanic over the steel.
I can't remember the word.
Life is Strange True Colors?
Correct.
Fuck. Forgot True.
Yeah, you got close. All right. Now this one's going to be tougher on John because it's got the word Deadpool in it because there's a reference to that movie series, but he hates it, so he might not know.
Uh-oh.
So potentially for the win. Everything's cleared. It is. Boop, boop. God, getting over to you guys is a pain in the ass. Wait, it's all set up. Reciprocate - blind lady from Deadpool. Reciprocate - blind lady from Deadpool.
I
I
don't
remember her name. I don't remember her name.
remember her name. Fudge.
2021.
Reciprocate. Blind lady from Deadpool.
What the fuck was her name?
It was like a one word. Like one syllable. I'm sure it was. A one syllable name.
I was about to say May, and I'm like, that's Spider-Man.
That's Aunt May, mate. Yeah.
2021. I know what reciprocate means, but now
The game is one word.
oh, is it?
Yeah,
I was trying
it's
to
a
think
hyphen.
of 2 words now.
No, one word.
Ah,
Reciprocate -
that
blind
changes
lady from
things now.
Deadpool. They can't read chat, guys. You can yell it out all you want.
Hey, why aren't I buzzing?
There you go. Nick.
Returnal.
Correct. Blind Al. What's her name?
What's her name? What's her name then?
Blind Al.
Oh,
As
Al?
soon as he told me it was one word, I realized what it was. As soon as he
fair.
told me it was one word, that completely
Yeah, I should have made it
changed my
more
thought
clear with
process.
the hyphen that it was one word.
Yeah. As soon as he said one word, I'm like, oh yeah, her name's Al. Boop, boop. I'm like, that's right, her name is Al.
All right, gotta clear
Because
this.
reciprocate. I knew he wanted return for reciprocate, but I was trying to think of a game with 2 words that was return. I'm like, return what?
Well played.
All right, the next one is show to chat. Very long. Recreational formal outfit, Lawrence. Moist recollections perish more than once.
Fuck's sake.
So
How many words is
three.
this game?
3 words, then a colon, and then 4 words. So 7 total. Recreational formal outfit, Lawrence, colon. Moist recollections perish one more than once.
Oh, yeah. I know the game. I'm just trying to think of the subtitle now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know the subtitle, but I can't think of the name.
What? How's that possible?
I don't know. I just know the subtitle.
We're gonna start
Well,
the
then you tell
timer.
me the subtitle so I can
I'm not
get it.
telling
You
you
tell me the
shit.
subtitle so I
I'm
can
not
get
telling
it.
you shit. I'm not telling you nothing.
Is it 2 to 1 or 2 to 2? I honestly forget. 2 to 1.
It's 2 to 1. It's
Yeah.
2 to 1.
Yeah. Starting the timer. 10 seconds now. 7. Nick.
I'm just gonna take a guess. Leisure Suit Larry. Wet Dreams Die Twice.
Correct. We are now tied at 2.
How could you not have the start if you had the subtitle?
I clearly did not have the end. I had Never Die Twice. But I was clearly not
I
thinking
knew
of
Leisure Suit Larry, and I'm like, fuck, there's so many Leisure Suit Larry games. There's so many of them. I'm like,
But there's
which
only one
is
that's
this
come
one?
out anytime recent. All right.
Yeah.
Should I go with
I
something
don't pay attention to
a
those
couple
games
words,
anymore.
or should I go with something that's a lot of words? What do you think?
They were very controversial games as when I was a kid.
Yeah, they were
Ooh,
so
game about sex.
controversial.
Ooh.
That's close enough.
Okay.
All right. The next one, 2 words. Those words are the average. The average. Sick.
The medium.
Correct.
Fuck.
All right, we'll do some for funsies as John has won a tight one. Normally they're blowouts, so it's actually been nice. This one's been so close. The next one, also 2 words. Those words are the jaywalker. I don't know if this is an American term. I apologize if it is. Sick.
It's sort of
pedestrian.
Correct.
American. Really? Jaywalker is a synonym for pedestrian.
Yeah,
A pedestrian is the only thing that can jaywalk.
Yeah.
So, it kind of works. Yeah.
There's not the
I mean, I
person
got it.
walking across the street is literally the only other way you could say it. So I did somebody doing something that only a pedestrian could do. I thought it worked. Can't jaywalk in a car. That's the entire point.
Yeah.
All right. Next one is Tiny Terrors 2. Tiny Terror. Second Mechanico.
Little Nightmares too.
Correct.
Oh yeah.
What a weird week. All right. The next one in the game is I have played. I don't think either of you have. It is Circle Savior. Circle Savior.
Circle Savior.
Mm-hmm.
know the second word. I don't know the first word.
John.
Loop Hero.
Correct. Good game.
Loop.
Wow.
That was the first
Absolute
word. I knew hero. And I was
Absolute
about to just buzz in and go round hero. And be like, I don't know what that is, but like round hero.
Loop
like,
Hero is a Game Pass game. It's very good. Very basic. Just
I've
auto
heard of it.
battler.
I
You're
didn't
just
think
making
of it.
decisions on stuff, but it's a lot of fun. All right, next one's not very good. It is Otherworldlies: Brigade Aristocracy. Otherworldlies: Brigade Aristocracy. Three words total.
Otherworldlies.
Same. Nothing fancy about it. One
This
hint.
game come out in 2021.
This game has recently had
No, I know-
a sequel leak.
Yeah, it does. I know the game. I just can't remember the thing. I just can't remember if this was the 2021 game. Shit, what was the 2021 game, Jesse? I know what this is.
Brigade Aristocracy.
John and I played this one together with, I think, Jordy. Memory serves.
Really?
I'm gonna guess it. I'm gonna guess
Go
it.
ahead.
I'm gonna guess it.
Go.
It's Aliens. I know it's Aliens.
Nice.
It's not, but it's not Colonial Marines.
No, that's very old. That was like 2014 or something.
It's,
20.
fucking, what is it?
What would
Shit.
aristocracy be? That could
can't
give it to you.
remember.
The aristocracy. I'm gonna have to start
the word.
All right, John for the pointless
Can't think of
steal.
the word.
Aliens, Fire Team Elite, I believe.
Correct.
I couldn't remember the 2021 game for the life of me. I just knew it was Aliens.
The only reason that's in my head is because there was rumors of Fire Team Elite 2 coming
Mhm.
at some point.
Yeah,
I
just
swear, I
hit.
swear we talked about that.
Yeah, it
on
was it was like
Tuesday, so-
last week or this week, I think.
Yeah.
All right, and final one for fun is 2 words, but the hint is not. So let me type it in, put it in chat for you here. One first word. Fancy gala for... God, fuck off. Game Pass pop up about Kunitsu-Gami. Fancy gala for rich assholes. Hyphen. Painful ass boil. Frightful. 2 words.
Oh, I know what this is. I know what this is.
Go ahead and buzz.
Oh, shit.
You...
I'm trying to think of the second word. Again, this has happened to me all day in this game. I know one word or one part of it and don't know the other
You
part.
absolutely know this game, Nick.
I know I do. I can't think of Frightful. It's Frightful
I know.
that's getting
I know
me.
this game.
I'm gonna
It's
start-
Frightful that's getting me.
You absolutely know this game.
How am I not getting this? Fancy gala.
It's
for-
Frightful.
Nick's 2021 Game of the Year. That's my hint.
Fancy gala for.
Oh,
yeah. Nick.
Shit.
Jesus.
Metroid Dread.
Correct. The Met. Fancy gala for rich assholes.
Yeah.
Royd.
Royd.
Painful ass boil.
You know,
Frightful.
you know, it's actually not the game I had in my
I know.
head.
That's
you know
why
what
you
game
would
I
have
had in
gotten
my
it
head?
instantly.
You know which game I had in my head?
Mm-mm.
Metro. Did a Metro game come out in 2021?
Exodus might have. No, Exodus was before that, I think.
I got the Met part, and then I was like Metro, and then I'm thinking
2019.
which Metro game came out in 20? Oh, it was 2019. I'm thinking which Metro game came out?
Yeah, because
in
that was like one
2021?
XPS4 at first.
But then as soon as you said my game of the year, I'm like, oh, Metroid Dread. I didn't even think of Metro because I don't. When Jesse does this, I don't go to Nintendo games. Surprisingly, I go to Xbox and like third-party games, or that's just what I go to. I don't even think Nintendo.
Okay, and let me look. Oh, there's so many things that freaking changed throughout this show. Boop. I hate
Then
that
yes,
when you
as soon as
turn
he
the
said my game of the year.
when you turn the fade on, it
Metroid
makes
Dread.
everything go up in volume to fade. It's very weird.
But congratulations to Shadowless, who's won
Hey, you.
a game code from Jesse. Just ping us on the Discord.
This is a
We'll
big
sort it
storm.
out.
This is a
let's
really
try
big
and-
thunderstorm.
Let's try and,
We have
let's
a
try
super
and wrap
chat.
it up before the electricity in the area.
A
kills
singing
your
super chat.
connection. Oh,
Wait,
super chat from
let me
Jordan.
get. Let me get. I need the chat back up. Where I'm.
Well, John already saw it because he always has his chat up during the game.
That's correct. Absolutely right.
Oh yeah, how did you know there was a super chat there?
He didn't.
Because
he
I
went,
won 20 minutes ago. No.
Jordan Andau. Guess who's back? I'm back again. Jordan's back. He's back again. This podcast will never end. Yay.
Welcome, Geordie. How you doing? How you doing, man?
This
Hope
is
you
a
had a
huge
And I
storm.
sang it and everything. That's how much I care about our patrons.
It's beautiful.
Executive producer Jordan Andau. I
Speaking
didn't
of-
sing in my Mariah Carey voice. I don't have it anymore. But still.
Well, age gets to us all, bro. But speaking of our wonderful patrons, did you know that every week one of the perks of being a Patreon member, because they're so awesome, is they get to ask us a community question every week. And it's a beautiful thing because we get to find out all sorts of things about them. They find out things about us. And all I would say to people watching right now is if you want to become one of those legendary people, just head to patreon.com/XboxEra and you'll get access to the Cool Kids Club lounge on both the forums and the Discord for like cool kid access to cool kid things. You know, who doesn't want to be a cool kid? Just saying. But yeah, I think it's an eclectic mix of questions this week.
Not a ton.
nothing
See
too-
that, Jesse? I did that intentionally, right? I did that. Did you notice I didn't cut him off? And I did it intentionally because I knew he was fucking full of shit. Every time he says it, every other week. So every other week, I give him. I don't even give him a chance to say and talk about how much we love our patrons. And thanks
I
to the
literally just
patrons, the
did that.
patrons make everything possible. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. All you did was talk about the community questions. You said fuck all about the patrons and how the Patreon works and what you can do and the nothing. Every other week I cut you off, but this week I'm like, you know what? I'll give him a chance. Maybe I do cut him off. I'll give him a chance this time to actually mention patrons and how much we like patrons and patron.
I believe I used the words legendary
community
and
questions.
love them.
Straight to
I
community
think
questions.
you've got a listening problem.
I knew it.
I think you need to go back and have a
knew
listen.
You don't
Go back
say
and have a
shit
little
about
listen.
the patrons.
Go back and have a little listen.
Bullshit. All you said was, all
Is
you
it the law,
talked
though?
about was one
Is
of
it the
the
law, though?
perks of being a
But is it the
patron
law, though?
was that you can ask a community
law, though?
question. That's all you fucking
Gotta
said.
close some stuff
I
up at the before.
I fucking knew it. So, anyway, now that John has finally proven once and for all that he genuinely doesn't give a shit about the patrons, I'm going to talk about how much I actually love our patrons. You know, I even tried to save our patrons money on my trip to Gamescom. Then when I saw the plane I was going to be on, I was like, I'm going to have to put in some of my own money because I don't want to sit on that plane for 14 hours. So thank you, patrons, for giving us so much money to help us get the Gamescom, which John then ruined by spending on other stuff. So I got completely dudded on my plane ticket. Completely and utterly dudded. But I appreciate that you guys genuinely tried to get me on a decent flight. I really do, because you put in a very large amount of money that could have got me a far more comfortable flight to Germany, to London. So I have chipped in the difference so that I actually survive the flight now, which I probably would not have previously. But now I will, out of my own money. But I appreciate everything the patrons do because there's other things in the works that the patrons are making possible. And oh no, I was just about to give something away there. I nearly just gave something away.
My finger is
And very
over
quickly
mute.
stopped myself.
I was over mute anyways. You would have been okay.
Yeah, I almost gave something away then and then very quickly stopped myself. But thank you very much to patrons like Jason, who just dropped the super chat.
Jason, we're not allowed to
yes.
answer this for legal reasons.
You are
Especially-
allowed to, and you
especially,
did for 45 hours or so straight, and you can just go right back in the
I-
Instabod.
Even though my expression may not show it, I will never not be freaked out that there are people out there who just give us their money
I know.
to
And a lot.
continue doing this stuff.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
amounts.
even if I don't have the ability to be like your sort of traditional YouTuber that's like, oh my God, thank you. Understand that internally, it does freak me out that people give us. You know what it is? Maybe it's because I don't see any of the money. That's why it doesn't come out how much it freaks me out that people give us money. Probably because I don't see any of the money. But yes, thank you to all our patrons. I will do my best to do more for you guys if I ever go full time, to show how much I appreciate you. Because John does not give.
John's very
Super
tired
Chats.
because it's like friggin' what? Almost 2 a.m.?
There's
Super
two
chat.
super chats from Jordan.
Super chat from executive producer Jordan Andau. Am I the best Patreon? I think Nick thinks I am. Ooh, look, I don't know if it's sort of like the kids. It's hard to have a favorite kid. Like, there's a lot that I like. Muhammad Sherez, it's hard for me not to love Muhammad Sherez because he's always talking about how amazing I am. So it's hard not to love Muhammad Sherez. But then Jordan also supports us a lot and gives us a lot of money too. So it's hard not to love Jordan.
There's another one from Jordan that was, I think, before that, by the way. I'm just checking.
Yeah, Jesse,
It
I was
to
stuck
Jesse.
on Godfrey, the first Elden Lord, and last night I beat him first try. When do I get to find out about this secret project from John?
When he
doesn't
announces
know?
it.
He doesn't know. There are, I will say, just to tease, because teasing's fun. We will tease a little something on the sub-a-thon, depending upon how things go. The more we manage to raise, maybe we'll set a silly target, and if we hit it, I will drop a bombshell of a tease just for fun. But I would also say to you that there is a permanent state of mild panic for me.
It's not very mild.
Because soon,
Massive
Okay.
panic.
yeah, all right, yeah, sheer existential crisis panic.
And
But
it's not
otherwise. Soon.
It's not that we've got like just insane amounts of money or some weird deal or anything riding on it just to let people know. It's just it's been a lot of work for John and Pre-Drag, and we're hoping things go well with it. So it's that hope of things going well with it because it would be a big boost.
I think knowing our community and knowing more than that, I think you're gonna love it. But you'll see soon enough.
It is like
Promise,
15
right?
lightning strikes a minute right now, man. If you keep me,
That is
it's
crazy.
really loud.
Jordan Andel. Have more money. For my money, this is the best podcast on the net, and I have my own podcast, so that tells you what I think of you guys.
I mean,
Thanks, Jordan.
rewind
Are there-
an hour, Jordan. Things got pretty uncomfortable around here.
And also, I don't know
Why?
that there are many like middle-aged white guys who don't have at least one podcast.
It's true. It's true.
Middle-aged men in general, not even white.
And
just-
Abdul, I'm going to shout out. I know Abdul didn't super chat, but he's a member, and I'm going to shout him out because he supports me a lot. He said, the reason this comment is pertinent, it is important because it relates to how I keep talking about how I'd like to do this full time. Abdul, who does support us and is a member, he discovered us because I was on, I think, Boom's podcast. And this is why I keep saying I would appear on all the American podcasts that are on at 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. for me and stuff if I was doing this full time. Because look how we gained the supporter through that. That's why that stuff matters. It may not seem like much, but that stuff matters. And that's why I wish I could do more. Like, it's just not physically having the time to do stuff. So thanks,
Much
Abdul.
like John has
I
done to
appreciate you
himself,
very
I
much.
muted when you wrote what Abdul said.
What? Why?
It's funny.
Yeah, but Abdul's a supporter. That's not good.
You probably got a gifted sub.
But Abdul's a supporter of ours. That's not good.
It made me laugh.
Kay Asante, GCP invite in the mail, Nick. What?
Gamers Circle podcast, which would be
Gaming
evening
Circle,
for you.
Gaming Circle podcast.
One of the only ones that's actually, it would be like 10 p.m. for you.
I thought Gaming Circle was like middle of the morning for me, like before I even wake up it starts.
No, middle of the
I've
morning.
caught them the tail end of their show, and it was when I'd woken up.
I think it starts at 10 a.m. my time, which it would be 8 hours before we start.
Yeah. So
that's
the
the
middle
end
of
of
the night for me.
No, the end of the start of the night, because you're normally waking up just before our show, so that would be like around midnight for you or so. It would start around midnight.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to start a potentially 2 or 3 hour podcast at midnight
Baby.
if I have to work the next day.
Well, it would be doing this podcast that day. They're before us.
Random question: when you guys are down for the weekend before Gamescom, when we're doing the live show, I was sitting there thinking about this. I was like, we don't have to do it at 11 p.m. UK time. Like,
No,
I'm
we
just
don't.
saying, we could do it at
We don't.
sensible o'clock.
We don't have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice, isn't it?
If in this miracle world where we potentially end up full time, we can completely change the time of this podcast.
I
We
could
can do it on
actually
a
have my
different
weekend
day
back.
entirely. We can do it on a different day entirely. We can do it during the week. You keep muting yourself.
Jesus Christ.
I just said yeah.
I heard that one. That
Yeah.
one I just heard
I know.
in my headphones. I was like,
It's
"Oh,
freaking
what?
Tampa Bay is literally it was named after being a place with a ton of lightning.
Hold on, Jason. I left your super chats on purpose. Jordan Andow, instead of buying Xboxera, can I just buy Nick? Is he for sale? Also, you are all welcome on my podcast anytime. Just remember, I'm in the UK. You can buy me. I'm open to free money. Jason's got 2 super chats that pertain to the same thing. Hey guys, just tuned in. Curious what Nick's thoughts are on the Halo show and why it got cancelled. And then he says, hey guys, I agree with Abdul. I really like Nick's opinion and want to know his thoughts on Halo. Well, Jason.
The timestamps will be up in about an hour. You'll get a long segment about them.
Man.
Did we even get to the first question yet?
No,
No, because John didn't thank the patrons at all. He just went straight to community questions. He didn't thank the patrons. But yes, the Halo TV show. Fuck.
no, community questions, please.
What a shit show that Halo TV show was. Who's winning KI? Okay. Community questions. One of the great perks of being a patron, regardless of tier. Paid tier. Yes, paid. I need to say paid tier because we have a free tier apparently.
Yes.
Okay. Community questions. Brad Ward fight. Can we get a recap of Nick's Halo TV show thoughts? Gotta give the people what they want. They want to know my thoughts on Halo. Okay. Jesse brother. Happy 221, motherfuckers. John, welcome back. In your stead, Rand did an admirable job when he finally showed up. His tardiness was more Jez's fault, but Rand didn't exactly quick travel. Speaking of quick traveling, do you guys remember how much shit people used to give Game of Thrones when any characters arrived anywhere in the realm too quickly? No, I don't remember that. Especially in the later seasons when they didn't have any more books from slow-ass George R.R. Martin to base the show off. But now that the same thing happens on George's new show, which I also love, none of these damn hypocrites have any complaints.
Yeah.
My question this week is for Mr.
teleporting
Clark.
complaints in seasons.
Was there?
Last 2 seasons. Yeah, because you'd have like Jon Snow be like at the wall, and then he'd be like in King's Landing, and you'd be like,
Yeah,
How
because
the
the
fuck did
first
you get
show
there
was
so
about the
fast?
months-long trip that it was to go from
Yeah.
Winterfell to King's Landing. So, yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
Oh.
sorry.
I did not even notice stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if they
I
hadn't
didn't
have
even notice
laboured the whole first season of the road trip up the main road north or south, you know,
Mhm.
like it wouldn't have been a big deal, but they did. So
I
yeah.
only noticed teleporting in my entire 40 years of watching movies. The only movie I noticed teleporting in was The Dark Knight Rises, where somehow he went from a deep, dark tunnel to Gotham in a day.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you had no money on you and you didn't even have a pay. What? what is this film? What is this film? That's when Chris Nolan was just like,
Okay. Had a split second of no internet, but it came right back. Huge bolt of lightning outside. Like, holy shit.
oh, really?
Yeah.
We need to
It's
G
back
up here
on
or
now.
lose the whole show.
Okay. But yes, The Dark Knight Rises was
Running
a terrible
fine now.
fucking movie.
Hopefully it keeps up. Crazy
My
storm.
question this week is for Mr. Clark. In your Hinterberg review, you said it took you a while to realize your character was taking damage from the thorns on the floor. Is that typically a British thing to refer to the dirt/grass ground outside as the floor? Because as Jess can back me up, in the States, we only say floor when it's indoors, like an actual hardwood, tiled or carpeted floor or concrete like in a basement.
It's probably the differentiation between a video game and real
I was
life.
just about to say that.
That's all it is, and it's also hasty typing. Like I could have said ground just as easily, but
Yeah. I don't like Brits and Aussies don't say the floor for outside.
no.
We call it the ground outside as well. Like we don't call it the floor. It's just
But,
a
like
video game.
the floor of the arena. You know, it
like
it was just It was a weird one because the only clip I had of me doing that was like really obvious thorns. But there's a section in the game where everything's kind of just purple and green, and the thorns are green, and you're like, you just don't see it like visually. Never mind.
don't think about it too much, Trev.
It was just a little.
Don't overthink it, mate. Don't overthink it, mate.
I liked it. It's a good question.
Dark Knight Rises is shit.
Yeah, it's not a good movie.
Next question. Hytham G. Today is my birthday. Oh, happy birthday, mate.
Birthday!
Happy birthday. It's great.
Oh, hold on. There's a crowd forming
And
the
I
moment
turned
they heard that.
31. What?
There's a crowd forming. They're excited about Hytham's birthday.
Oh, right, yeah.
Hytham. You're so amazing. Man, that movie.
Nope, they left. Oh, they're fast. That was a fast
Beautiful.
flash mob.
It's beautiful.
Hey, balloons for your birthday.
Beautiful.
31. Just a baby.
Baby, yeah.
And man, we are not getting any younger, but we wish all of us is forever young. I mean, I'm close enough. Like the ages we want to be forever. But here is the lyrics of this song down below by the artist named Alphaville. So sing the lyrics. Oh, fuck.
Do you know the beat?
Forever young. We want to be forever young. Do you really want to live forever? Forever and ever. Are we going to get pinged for this because of my brilliant singing?
Yeah, because you're so accurate right now.
Forever young. We want to be... Why are you doing a dance beat behind it?
Just trying to help you out, bro. It's beautiful.
And now I can't sing it. I can't.
sing the tune.
It's throwing my beat off
Stop
now.
it.
I can't sing it. Okay. I mean, I sang enough of it. My singing is terrible.
Hey, Britt, if you saw a moment where I was like laughing and then I looked this way and my smile just disappears because I read your comment, bro. Shit like that hurts, yeah? Just words have power. I'm just saying.
I think I'm close enough to forever young. I saw a tweet about that. There was this Asian gentleman who was apparently in his 50s. He was allegedly in his 50s. The dude looked like he was 23. And so I don't know if it was fake. I feel like it may have been fake. And he was like jacked and all this stuff. And they were asking him how he looked so young. And he was talking about his diet and all that sort of stuff. But then something he said at the end, which I had kind of thought about myself, where he said he thinks young and acts young. Like a lot of it's mindset. And I'm like, gee, I've always wondered if that's the case because of how immature I am. And I like to think and act young. Maybe that's why I have these youthful looks at 44.
Sounds accurate. Also, giant lightning strike.
What?
Giant lightning storm. Let's roll it up.
Okay. Next question. Didact
I was freaking muted. I was trying to talk. That was the Man with a Million song for Rand.
It's
Yes,
beautiful.
the AI song. Didact Brew 3. Hi, gents. Now with the Halo TV show cancelled, Microsoft showed interest in shopping it around to see it continuing. Do you see it happening? If no, will there ever be another attempt at a big Halo adaptation? We covered this quite in depth. I personally think it will get picked up for season 3,
Yeah,
despite how shitty it is. I think it will still get picked up for season 3. I would love the person who makes up rumors to be actually right for once, and Apple TV picks it up. That would be fucking great, because I know it would then become a good show if Apple picked it up. But I think I'd be okay with Amazon as well.
Yep.
I think Amazon could do a good job. I mean, look at Fallout.
Yeah.
Fallout's great. So I'd be fine with Amazon picking it up. I think it will. I think there was I believe it, like if Microsoft can sell another studio on how successful it was for Paramount, then in theory someone else would pick it up, no?
I would agree.
Yeah. Why is Jesse dropping his head? I'm saying something good.
I think it's more his connection, mate. Like he's frozen
Right.
completely. That's why I was like,
okay.
I'm very conscious of the giant lightning storm going on in Jesse's area right now.
Okay. Cheeseworks. Hello,
Like the
gentlemen.
stream, y'all.
Yeah. Hello, gentlemen. With talks of Xbox's lack of marketing budget in comparison to Sony, what do you believe could cause Xbox to raise its budget and put it more on an even level as Sony? It is obvious that this has been the case, but having it laid out in plain English makes it even more disappointing. I suppose that these are organizational and structural differences between the companies. Thank you for the fantastic show, and I'm looking forward to the second XboxEra sub-a-thon. I mean, again, we kind of talked about this, but we didn't really specifically discuss this part of the question, saying, what do you believe would cause them to raise it? Nothing.
It's a really hard one to answer because they're, you know, are they scrappy because they don't believe it's worth the investment, so they don't budget? Like it's really hard to kind of like think of. Okay, the number goes up, but why would the number go up? Because they've sold more, but to sell more, they need the number to go up, and it's back to you have to spend money to make money, kind of
spend money to make money.
Cyclical, and I'm like, I don't know how to answer this.
They're in the position right now where they're not super focused on just console because of how much they lose. Like they haven't been able to cut the cost of hardware down, sell things cheaper. Like it's still a big cost, and it's just they are extremely focused on ROI. So what would it take for that to change? It would be different people in upper management that are making those decisions.
Yeah. Yep.
The problem with vicious cycles is you need someone to step in and break it. And Microsoft doesn't seem interested in breaking it, despite the fact that they technically have the ability to. They don't want to break it. They're too number crunch mode now. It's all numbers now. It's all, need to see that money come back. If there's no money, then we ain't spending, which then leads to less money coming in, which means, see, we were right. No point spending because there's no money coming in. It's a vicious cycle that Microsoft's not interested in breaking, unfortunately for Xbox fans, in Europe especially.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm also looking forward to the next subathon, but I'm concerned that I'll be at the movies when it starts.
We'll be going for a while. So we're starting the same time. You're noon, my 7 a.m.
Yep. Okay, great.
My noon or John's noon?
My noon.
John's noon.
So that's quite late for you.
So your midday is like my 3 a.m.
Yeah, it's like 6 hours
I think.
before this show would normally start on the podcast day. Wait, no, sorry.
Yeah.
No, if it's 7 a.m. for you is the end of the day. 7 a.m. for me is your evening. It's 11 hours before we start the podcast.
Okay. But on my Saturday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to Deadpool Saturday night.
Yeah, so it would be around that time. So when you wake up on Sunday, if you wanted to or yeah,
We'll be
if
doing
we're
the
still,
pod-
yeah, I don't know. It'd be tough.
Yeah. See what I mean? If we could do this full time, I'd just
Well, your later
stay up all night and play.
Oh no, it would be your Jesus Christ.
dream.
It would be your Friday night through your Saturday morning. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so,
okay. If that's
yeah.
the case, that's fine. I could do that.
So it's
I'll play
my-
Saturday during the day
yeah,
before
it's
I go
my
to the movie.
Friday night, so it's your my Friday morning, so it's your Friday night. We'd be starting late Friday
Oh, that's
night for
okay
you.
then. That's fine.
Yeah.
And I can do Saturday during the day as well.
Mhm.
Oh, that's okay then. Good. Cool. Well, I might
Sorry.
see you guys
I
on the
normally have the-
subathon. Just play a fucking decent game.
It would be the exact same setup as last time, where it was late for you and you joined us early, and then you joined us again your next morning.
Yeah. But part of the reason I wasn't as much there last time was I was incredibly sick.
Yeah, you were poorly.
Sick of all these super chats. Yeah.
Super chats.
Yeah, we just got one from Jordan.
Jordan Andau, final super chat. Is it really the final super chat? I missed
You
the
never
community
know.
questions. So, how old do you think I am? Also, how many content creators and media do you think actually believe what they say versus just saying it for clicks?
Most.
Ooh, if they're saying something negative about Xbox, they well and truly believe what they're saying. How old do you think I am? Oh God, I haven't physically seen you, so I don't know. I'm gonna take a stab in the dark and say 28.
I'm going to go older. I'm going to say 36.
Don't know. Answer the question while you're there. Next question. 99 Rukin. Hello, everyone there. With the rumor that Warner Brothers Discovery is splitting up, I was wondering who takes what with them. What gets shut down, and where do we see both companies going in the future? Thoughts?
Yeah,
Is that splitting up?
like the Warner Brothers doing stuff has been going on for ages. Is that confirmed yet, or is it still just bubbling away?
They've talked about it, but like as far as it actually being a thing, it's only been rumors so far.
Okay. It's tricky. Any game studios, I think, would be sold. Like, because
Didn't they just merge not that long ago?
Yeah, so
I
they
thought it was
merged.
all over and
They merged
fixed.
Warner Brother and Discovery, and then supposedly this new thing would be taking very specific movie stuff, taking very specific TV stuff. So it'd be like, HBO is TV. It would be with the TV. It wouldn't be with the movie. I don't know. It's people talking. But who knows? There's been 7 billion rumors lately, so it's very tough to say. Other than that, David Zaslav seems to be very bad at his job.
As are most execs,
Shocked.
which is baffling
Just
to me.
failing upwards.
It is incredible stuff. Like I don't fucking get it. Okay. Mr. Egg. Hello, peoples. Hope it's been a good week for you peeps. I want to touch on a topic that affects lots of gamers. I'm sure most of you, if not all, have suffered from gaming fatigue in the past, leaving you with no desire whatsoever to play games. My question is, what games or advice would you recommend that you have found helpful in the past?
Let me say, I've never had this.
Wow.
Really?
I've
I
had
have.
gaming fatigue so many times.
Yeah, I
Like
have.
Not that I can
often where
remember.
I'll boot up and I'll just look at everything and I'll just be like,
Yep.
no, I
just
don't want to.
don't want to play any of it.
Yeah,
Not interested.
yeah, and it just takes, and it always happens. Just a little special game will come along, and it will suddenly make me just fall in love again, and yeah, you're back at it.
To be fair, it hasn't happened to me in a long time, thanks to Rocket League. Like,
Yeah,
no matter what is happening in the gaming world, I will play Rocket League. Because for me, that's not even a video game anymore.
Yeah, it's sport.
It's sport. It's just the sport. I don't play indoor soccer anymore. I played indoor soccer for 20 years, from like the age of 17 to literally like 36, 37, when I had this weird back thing that happened to me. And I had to stop. The back thing's gone, but I haven't gone back to indoor. I wouldn't mind. I'm quite a good soccer player.
I've always had that one thing like Rocket League. It was World of Warcraft into Diablo 3. And lately it's been the roguelikes, like Balatro has been a lot of that. Like if I don't feel like playing something complicated. And the one I've gone back to in the last few days, especially with the Steam Deck, because I own it on Steam, is Marvel's Midnight Suns. Terrible writing. Terrible voice acting. Like it's like if you've got A tier Marvel MCU, B tier TV, and like Sony Spider-Man, this is like the Z tier Marvel, because they're trying real hard to be quippy and funny, but it just doesn't land. But the actual gameplay and that game's gorgeous. Like it is really good looking. And the actual strategic gameplay is super satisfying. And
Isn't it like a turn-based card thing?
It is. It is like turn-based XCOM card game with a ridiculous amount of Marvel characters in it, and it's really, really fun the way it works.
Can you get me a code?
No. It came out in 2022. That Warner Brother or Take-Two will just say, "What the fuck are you talking about?" It is on sale.
We'll
on
talk
Steam.
about it on the show.
They don't care.
Say,
Take-Two doesn't give a shit. They're very Take-Two. The people I speak with are very nice, but they are also very regimented. And essentially, when something's more than a few months out, they don't do codes anymore. I have tried, but yeah, Marvel's Midnight Suns. It goes on sale a lot for like $20-$25. It was free on Epic, the base version.
It was free on Epic.
So you probably own it already, but on I don't know.
I do.
It's not. So if you run it full maxed out with ray tracing and everything, it looks stunning, but you can lower it down and actually runs phenomenally well on the Steam Deck. They got a mix of settings. Really fun
I need to
game.
get a handheld PC. I really need to get a handheld PC.
It would be so much easier if you guys were in the US. I will try. I've only had luck twice.
Nah, maybe I'll get in touch with someone in Australia, like Asus or.
I've had no luck with
Asus
in the US, so if you might have more luck, because I've been trying for John in the UK, and it's just everything is so US centric. Makes it tough.
I'll try.
Hopefully at Gamescom they'll have booths and stuff, and come up and have direct conversations. You know, you never know what will come out of
those
all of this
in-person meetups are always really good. The RGLAX isn't out yet. It's probably why I haven't heard anything, but I never heard anything about the first ROG Ally. So I don't know. I'll try. I'd like to get you guys stuff.
Maybe do that, MrEgg. Find a game that like isn't even a game anymore for you.
Zen.
Like it's part of your life, or it's a sport, or it's a. Like I said, Rocket League is not even a game. I get angry most of the time playing Rocket League, but I still play it. You know, oh my God.
I know.
I was going to tweet about this.
The Halo hatred, like playing ranked Halo is the same for me. I hate it. I scream and I shout, but I still go back to it.
Yeah. Like, so I was playing Rocket League the other day, and as it happens, there's a lot of young kids that play Rocket League. It shocks me how young. 11, 10, 13, and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm old enough to be almost this kid's grandfather. And like I'm playing with this kid, and he seemed normal enough. But as we had played a few games together, he obviously started to get comfortable. And the language this 11-year-old child was using, I said to him, I'm like, where did you learn to talk like this?
TikTok.
Where did you learn to talk like this? He's like, I've been talking like this since I was 5. And then he started using the N word. And then he started using the F slur. And I'm like, oh my God.
If he was on Xbox, you could have very easily got him banned. They recorded all.
He was on Xbox, I think.
Oh.
No, he was on PC.
Oh,
That's the other thing. He's like 11 and he was on PC. And I'm like, I can't believe this stuff. I'm like, I can't believe that he's talking this way. Like when I was 11, I used to swear, shit, fuck. I was never using those kinds of words, but then I wasn't exposed to those kinds of words either.
Most of the time, it's because you've got someone in your life who is a influential adult or parent that is a piece of shit.
well, to be fair, these kids also watch their favorite streamers use these words, and they watch their favorite
Influential
singers
adult.
use a lot of these words. So I just, man, I don't know. I just freaked out a little bit. It was just like, wow. I was like, I said to him, I said, buddy, I gotta go. It's like, I gotta go do something, man. GG's. See you later. But yes.
You don't want to get Dr.
Tangent.
Disrespected.
Yeah. Good old Collingwood. Hello, John, Nick, and Jesse. Did the CrowdStrike outage personally affect you?
Nope.
No.
No,
I heard about it, and I was like,
yeah. So
Oh,
it
shit.
was 8.5 million Windows devices that it affected, which is a tiny drop in the bucket for how many there are, but it's still a ridiculous amount of devices. But thankfully not. So.
are you sure that's all the number was? Are you saying
That's what
8.5
Tom Warren
million
said.
only in America?
No, Tom Warren
No,
said it was 8.5 million Windows devices because this isn't Windows.
1%.
It's
less than
CrowdStrike.
1% of Windows
wasn't a
devices
Windows.
worldwide.
It wasn't a Windows issue. It was a CrowdStrike issue. They're like a cybersecurity firm that a
No,
lot
I
of
know,
places use.
but that number seems low.
I mean, it's mostly for businesses. So it was all those business PCs. It wasn't like a personal PC thing.
Bro, people couldn't get into the football on Friday night because
Because of those
Ticketmaster's
business.
systems were affected.
Yeah.
Ticketmaster. It's
Yeah.
Ticketmaster.
Yes.
How can it just be 8.5 million?
Globe. That's it. That's a lot of computers, man, for just businesses and stuff like registers and whatnot.
That's the number they gave. Like
That was Microsoft's own number. It was 8.5 million Windows
I
devices.
think it's disingenuous to like Microsoft are very obviously going. This was a CrowdStrike issue, yes, but you allow CrowdStrike to push
Yeah,
third-party updates to you, without verifying them. Like, so
Yeah.
they fucked up, but also maybe revisit those practices.
Yeah,
just a
you'll put
smidge.
an indie dev through the fucking ringer to release an Xbox update.
It's like,
just like-
come on, lads, come on. Oh,
This
dear.
indie dev that can barely afford to pay for the fucking cert, we'll put them through the ringer. But CrowdStrike, go for it. Do what you want, guys, on our Windows machines that we have fucking billions of them.
It's funny. There was one airline that was still able to fly because they are on Windows 3.1.
Who's that?
A lot. Christ, I forget which one, but one of the bigger ones. They were the only ones still flying because they're on Windows 3.1 because they don't need anything more for those particular issues. It's like all the.
That's amazing.
It's like all the government companies that are still on like 1960s nuclear machines because it just works. They don't
Commodore
want anything
64s?
else, and they can't have stuff that flips the I/O all the time around radiation and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah. You know who wasn't affected? Max. Funny that.
Yeah, hardly anyone uses them.
Okay.
Percentage-wise, they don't.
Super chat, Jordan Andau. UK is ridiculous for PR. It's so hard to even find which companies are handling which properties half the time. I've been trying to get an Xbox contact for ages and don't even know where to start.
It is on their website. It
Why
is
don't you help him out,
Assembly
John?
PR. It's right on their website. Assembly PR. That is who does Xbox.
Yeah.
If they'll pay attention
question.
to you, don't know that that's the hard thing because there's so many people trying to contact them. But
Yeah, they're probably busy.
FozzieBoy. Hello all. First question. So apologies if I'm covering a few things I wanted to share. I thought it was first question. I'm like, FozzieBoy. I haven't seen FozzieBoy ask a question before. First, a quick... What was that?
Animals.
Oh my god,
Cats.
the cats are just full punching
he's
on.
he's literally standing next to her and she can't stand it. He's just standing next to her.
They're just full on going mental. First, a quick insight into a generational difference and great use of Game Pass and cloud gaming. My son, Henry, named as he listens to the podcast, is 10 and has recently discovered he can use cloud gaming on the Xbox console. He loves that he can now choose any game in the collection and just jump in. And then if he wants to try something else, just switch over. No concerns about download times and planning ahead. He doesn't seem to care if it's not the highest resolution, etc. He just likes the convenience and ability to fit his mood. Yeah, it's true. Last thing is a thought I had. I don't often worry about speculation and just enjoy games once they are there for me to play. But with the conversation about Modern Warfare 3 coming to Game Pass, I'm wondering if its absence from the current Xbox game sale is another hint. All other Call of Duty games are there, but not that one. Maybe you don't want to get in trouble tempting people to buy it now when it's soon going into Game Pass. Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Finally, a question. Don't really have one, but I asked Henry and he wanted to know what the best shooter is you'd recommend for him, but not Halo, as he is already enjoys that.
I guess if
Thanks, and keep up the blimming amazing work.
like if it's campaign, go play Titanfall 2. If it's like PvP, like Overwatch is still great. My wife has this tracer. It's not mine. It's a Funko Pop, not in the box. I think one of the only ones we have. But yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Overwatch 2, still great. Also getting a really cool looking new hero you can play this weekend. Might be gone already, I forget. Named Juno. She looks cool.
He's 10.
But yeah. I mean, most people just
I would
say
like
Fortnite.
to apologise, Henry, for all of the swear words that we've uttered over the last 221 episodes into your fragile young
And there's going to be
ears.
so many more.
Yeah, I didn't realize there were kids watching.
Of
You
course.
I
know,
didn't
like,
realize
now
there were
I-
kids
you know,
watching.
like- You know, but to Nick's point, you know, the kid he was describing that he played against Rocket League, 1 year older than you, don't ever be like that kid.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And
You know,
he swears
this
like
is
crazy.
educational. But
And
I
he
totally
definitely
agree with
didn't hear those
Jesse's-
words on this podcast.
I totally agree with Jesse's take. Titanfall 2, absolutely brilliant campaign to play through.
If now he's 10, so I don't know. As a father, I don't know how you are in terms of.
He lets him listen to this podcast, bro. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I would say Doom.
So then Doom?
Yeah, Doom 2016
Doom
and Eternal.
2016?
They've got all those difficulty curves. If you're feeling it's too tough at normal, you can knock it down. If you're really goddamn cool, and you probably are, you can eventually jump it up, unlike what Nick and John would do, put it on even harder. Yeah, those Titanfall, Doom 2016,
Fortnite?
Doom Eternal, and yeah, I guess Fortnite.
I mean, my
For the
son
father's
is
sake,
8.
stay away from Fortnite, or else they're gonna start.
You
trying to spend
should
money.
both play. You should both play It Takes Two together. Father and son. It Takes Two.
It's not a shooter.
I know, but I'm just saying, go play that together. It's really good fun.
Like, but like I know, you know, Fortnite, and people will roll their eyes, but Fortnite is fantastic. It's not gory. It's fun. It's not super violent. There's a lot of cool stuff to it. Epic has some fantastic parental controls. So, like, Fortnite's good from a lot of perspectives. People give it a lot of shit, but Fortnite is fantastic. And it's got the racer in it, and it's got the music game in it, and it's got Lego in it, and it's got Fortnite. The only downside to Fortnite is that if he gets hooked on it, your wallet's fucked. Like, if he gets hooked, the amount of money that we've spent, not just me on my Epic account, across my children's accounts, the amount of money we've spent on Fortnite is insane. It's just crazy, the amount we've spent. Nuts. But it's a fantastic game, Fortnite. It's really good. Jordan Andow. Missed one of my super chats, so more money. This is the real final super chat. Nick is a former robot in disguise. Just look, you can see it in his eyes. Which super chat did I miss?
We missed.
Oh, there it is. And I went to read it out and I got distracted. Jordan Andow. Nick wins. He was closer. I am 30. Ooh, I was off by 2 years. How long do we think before Warner Brothers just become basically Disney in game terms and license their IP out to others instead of having their own studios?
It's a lot of
That's a good
studios to
point. Maybe
close
they
down.
will.
So I don't know. Like they have
they
way
could sell
Disney
them.
Disney never had that many of their own.
Yeah.
No, they had BlackRock.
Yeah.
BlackRock was the only one I could think of that they had.
Yeah, they
Great
were not
studio,
as
too.
all in as Warner Brothers has been for a while, so probably
Yeah.
end up playing out differently.
Disney didn't have Batman, and they didn't have fucking. Oh my god! Why have I gone blank?
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. Oh my god! I just went blank for a second. Disney didn't have Mortal
Yeah,
Kombat.
like they've got big stuff
Lord of the
now,
Rings.
but like
Yeah.
yeah, the more adulty stuff that they have now, especially with
Yes.
Marvel.
Yeah.
But it's tough. It's really hard to run all those things that you're constantly paying salary on. That unless they hit their games as a service stuff, you get that big influx of cash every 7 years now. That's why Mortal Kombat is
BlackRock
so
Studio
heavy on it.
was, yes, and BlackRock Studio was such a fantastic studio. Like Pure was just amazing. Split Second, I think that was them too. So good. But I have to say, FozzieBoy brought up a good point about Modern Warfare 3. I don't even think of that.
Yeah,
Makes
deliberately keeping
That's
it
a
off the
really good
sales
point.
list.
Yeah. They're big with that
Yeah,
for
like,
not letting you buy stuff that they're going to announce is coming to Game Pass. You'll notice they
Yeah.
never put it for sale until it's been announced for Game Pass.
That's a really good point that I did not even think of. Last question. Ben Angelo. I wondered where Ben Angelo's been. And the forum says it's been a while since we've seen Ben Angelo. Ben Angelo. Hi, guys. I just want to start off by saying great work on content lately. Thanks, Ben.
Oh, thanks, dude.
It was nice seeing Soul on a Hangouts video and Jesse's stream of Nobody Wants to Die pushed me to buy it. I don't usually play those types of games, but I really enjoyed it and completely agree with Jesse's review score. My question is, do you think Wolfenstein 3 will be out before the Iron Man game? Keep up the bloody good work. Cheers. God, that's a random... Why
That's a fun
Wolfenstein 3
question.
before Iron Man? That's such a weird couple of games to pick from.
I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I'm
I
going to
don't-
say no as well.
Indiana
think
Jones is a
Wolfenstein
lot
3 will
sooner than we thought it would be. So
Yes.
there's more of a
Yes.
chance, but it really depends how much work has been done on Wolfenstein already. If it's like
But
almost
what if they
nothing,
are
then
working
no.
on Quake as well?
Yeah. If it's a small team, like, because they're not a small studio, but they're also not like Bungie size. Like, they're not enormous. And even Bungie had a
'Cause
hard
I
time
asked
doing two
about
things at
Quake.
once.
I asked about Quake and what was happening with Quake.
Over and over the
I
mute
may
button.
have got a little update on that. I'm not going to say anything. No, I'm not saying, because I asked them if I could say anything and they never replied to my Discord DM. But I got an update on Quake because it's been ages since I've heard anything. I got a little update on it.
Me.
But yes, that Iron Man game. Fuck, I'm looking forward to that. Like, if ever I was going to review a giant open world long game, it's going to be Iron Man.
I thought it'd be
If I was
long.
ever going to do it. Having said that, by the time that game comes out, I could be full time. Maybe it won't be an issue by the time that game comes out. But yes, we believe Wolfenstein 3 would be after the Iron Man game, most likely.
Most likely.
For sure.
Most likely. You never know
Yeah.
in today's gaming
And
world.
it was a
but
lot sooner
most
than everyone
likely.
thought. Or should
Yeah.
be. Not was.
Yeah. But yeah. That's and yes, with that, it's funny, with Nobody Wants to Die, it just came up on my algorithm on YouTube, just out of nowhere. And I watched the trailer for it, and I'm like, wow, this game looks very Bioshocky and looks very cool. And I sent Jesse a DM, not looking at what he was doing in Discord. And I'm like, hey, that Nobody Wants to Die game looks pretty cool. And then I had a look, and he was literally playing it as I asked that question.
Wow.
And then he's like, this isn't a game for you. There's no, like, action or shooting.
This is
in
the
it. I'm
clip
like,
for you, though. You would like this crime scene because they're banging.
What?
The clip I'm playing right now.
Oh, wow, look at that. They're having sex.
Yeah, clothed sex, but so they're
Oh, dry humping.
yeah. And if you can't tell, she slits the guy's throat as someone else shoots her. Scary stuff.
Oh, wow.
Jesus.
Yeah, really good game. You're gonna like that one, John. Playlist.
It'll be one I'm tackling tomorrow evening once kiddos are in bed. I think I've got a bit of editing to do though, so
Oh, okay.
For the secret project,
that's
because
it.
reviews are kind of slow. Finally.
yes, there's lots to do for the secret project. But yes, Nick is right. That is it. That's the end of community questions, and ergo, we're coming to the end of the show. But
Yeah. Also, Brit. Yes, Brit. Anthem is my Iron Man game. That's why I was so frustrated that Anthem didn't get that 2.0 update. And, like, I can't remember where they said it, but I think some of the Anthem team is on Iron Man. I think.
Just remember,
Um,
John, we're the ones who interrupt him as he interrupts you for the 50th time to extend the segment.
it's okay.
Tell him
It's all right.
when he acted like a big fucking immature baby before and walked off. Tell him what I said
Oh, shit. No one can hear Nick. So that is it for the Xbox Era podcast. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining us. You keep talking, but no one can hear you. In 1 week, we are doing the Xbox Era sub-a-thon. It is our second one. If you love what we do, you can join that sub-a-thon. We're starting at 7 a.m. Eastern U.S. time, noon for John. I'm sure Nick will be jumping in and joining us. We're going to be going as long as we can, trying to get that...
want them to love each other again, like the old days.
Go, John.
Okay, is
You
everyone
agreed
all right
with
now?
me. Tell him.
I don't want to get involved. I'm not coming between you two on
Yeah.
this. What I am going
Yeah,
to say
exactly.
is, next week, do you want to tease a certain thing? Jesse, are you allowed
No,
to tease
not
it?
allowed to tease it.
Okay, no teasing there. All right, I'll just tease
That
some
was
more
a
then.
sign of thing.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. All right, well, things.
There are more
We'll
things
be doing
coming this
things.
month. So John's
Yes.
thing further off. I have a thing that will be this month.
And the tease, obviously, we'll have a tease for the subathon, which is coming on Friday.
If we hit our goals.
Well,
Good tease.
yes, we've got the goal to hit, but let's see how we fare. But as always, we're ever so grateful, humbled, and enamored with the wonderful group of people that support us through Patreon and here on YouTube. You guys are legends for making what we do possible. And it is my sincere hope, genuinely, bottom of my heart, that when hashtag secret project is revealed, that you guys love it as much as I do, because I really do. So,
I hate
you know,
it personally. I haven't told John that yet, but
yeah, he loves it. He loves it.
I forgot what it
And
was.
the
but it's
secret
more-
project has also led to. I wonder if I can say this.
You can't. All we'll say is there's even more cool things to be announced by us, by this team,
in the coming weeks.
Weeks. Yeah,
Coming
weeks.
weeks.
We're not talking months. Weeks.
No, I mean, weeks
Like-
can last
Yeah,
months.
but
Yes.
there was something I was going to say. There's something I was going to say that I don't think it doesn't give away what it is or anything. I was just going to say that it leads. That the secret project is leading to us doing something.
I muted him. Okay, you can say it again. I wanted to make sure.
It's all right. He's being careful. He's being careful.
You
I'm
can
just
say
saying that the secret project has led to us doing something quite big for us related to the secret project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Now,
gotten.
I know that sounds stupid
It's
when you don't know
grown
what
in.
it is. but
It's
like-
grown in scope for us. It's not some huge, massive thing with anyone else. But for us, what it
Yeah.
was originally,
That's why I keep saying.
yeah,
for
we've added
us.
more on.
I think the people that support us will be
Why are you barking?
will be blown away by what we're somehow fucking pulling off. And we owe it all to you guys. Like, I can't stress that enough. So big thank you for everybody's help. We'll obviously be back to try and hit our target goal on Friday next week. Between now and then, Jesse and I'll be back for headlines. Obviously, the whole crew will be back on Saturday next week as well. And then
Yeah,
we're
I'll
really
stream
on-
during Saturday. I'll stream.
Yeah,
I can be
you'll-
here and everything. I've set it all up, and I've got a brand
Glorious.
new monitor that's like a gaming monitor, so that I can stream and have a camera on me and do. Oh, should I try and get a
Beautiful.
green screen?
No, we don't bother. So
The green screen
This
only
will
really
fly.
matters if it's you're running through OBS and everything. If you're just going to be streaming yourself to Twitch and people can see you there and all that, and I yoink that in, I guess I could green screen your feed, but I mean, it's not going to look great. It's going to take all the green out of your gameplay, so it's not worth it.
Okay.
But seriously, folks, get hype, because I am like, I'm
Yeah.
pinwheeling between shitting my pants and absolute hype.
I don't think
and
it's super spoilery to say, like, it is the type of thing that if it does well, we'll be doing great as a company.
Yes.
Hashtag C.
So that's why for
Project.
us,
Anyway.
it's like John's feeling all that because it is really hard. We don't want to go into the SEO grind and do the clicky baity type
Clickbait,
headlines
rage
for
bait.
yeah, because there's essentially a few ways to make money. You've got people click on your website all the time. A lot of people click on your videos all the time. or you just get a ton of crowdfunding. There's a fourth one of like, you've got products that sell a lot. Like, we've got really good merchandise, but we fucking suck at selling it. If you go to our store, if you go to our XboxEra.com and you click merch, there's a really good merch store. There's also even a friggin' game code and stuff store that we haven't talked about that in a year. Like, we've got.
I know. I've not even met with those guys. It's just such a low priority right now.
Mm-hmm. But this is the type of thing that could really take a lot of stress off of us if it goes well in that way.
It could change the game in a big way. And yeah, it's a
Why
gamble.
don't we mention the game store?
Because we don't think we're bad at it.
We're just terrible at this, really.
And I need to buy a couple of new T-shirts before Gamescom. Will they come to me before Gamescom, you reckon?
There'll be talks about stuff.
I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why after the call.
Because if I'm going to roll up and we're going to do a live podcast, I don't want to wear just the Xbox Era Friends T-shirt. I wouldn't mind buying like the What's Going On one. Or
we have some Xbox Era merch plans around Gamescom for the team, so people know who we are.
Yeah, don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Look, links. I'm putting them in chat. Look, we've got a store.
We have
we've got a merch store.
like we never talk about it, but for anyone still watching, there's like 90 still watching. We actually have like a game store. You can buy video games and Game Pass and stuff.
Yep, that's true. It's true. It's there. It's live right now.
We just never talk about it for some reason.
You can earn points and get discounts and all that sort of stuff. But
Control. I always talk about Control. But that's because like I drink Control.
Yeah,
I drink it myself. Like even before I organized that deal with them. That's like, why I organized that deal with them because I drink it.
We have nice shirts.
Yeah,
we have a lot of nice shirts.
An excellent artist. So
we'll make an effort to start mentioning all that stuff more.
If we start getting a budget, then we will start buying ourselves shirts to wear in the show and then reminding people that we have them instead of having to buy our own shirts.
I think it's just an audience increase of such a degree. But I think I'll tell you what I think in a certain point in time in the future. But definitely I'll mention something to you guys in a moment. Chat, as always, thanks for
everyone stopping by.
Yeah, and for folks listening on Spotify, listening on Apple, iTunes, podcasts, whatever app you're listening to us on, we appreciate you just as much. If you're on an app that allows for a review system, please feel free to drop a comment. I think Spotify have activated just comments now. You can just comment on an episode. We'll see it. So feel free to drop us some feedback.
Those places like activity. The more activity you do, if it's likes or talking, even if it's dislikes, sorry to say that, like YouTube doesn't care if it's a dislike versus a like. It's just activity. It actually helps the channel. So if you dislike us, it helps.
That's fine. But we love you guys, and thank you so much for helping us.
I didn't even realize that.
To do what we do.
What?
You know, SNK versus Capcom Chaos was exclusive to the OG Xbox, and now it's not even on Xbox.
It was in the arcades, and then the home version was.
Oof.
No, but the home console version was exclusive to the OG.
Our store
Xbox.
is not even up, John. You probably already noticed. The store is down. It just says coming soon.
I wonder if that business has gone completely out of business.
Yeah, it might have.
Really?
Yeah, it just says coming soon.
I contacted them like 3 or 4 weeks. Oh no, they might be doing planned maintenance, so I don't know.
As in the store that sells the games?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh.
And thank you, Jeebus, for not hitting my house with lightning.
Yeah.
He was tossing a lot of bolts down with his dad Zeus.
Yeah, from Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
But there you go.
Zeus, the character from Fortnite.
Anyways. Ciao for now.
Yeah, thanks everyone. See you all next week. Ciao for now.
John's got a project locked in his mind. Whispers in dark, oh, what will we find? Colors and sounds that twist and go.